people. It is Thursday, the 23rd of May. Welcome to TDA, the day after, your favourite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by the culture. As always, I am one of your lovely hosts for today, my own royalty.
And they call me E-Man, the pro-black activist, TDA producer and news analyst, melanin jam-packed.
That's right, man. So y'all can stop crying in the comments. Y'all can stop. Someone can't even play with you guys anymore. Little small joke. Yeah. Morning, Brent.
Morning. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. How are you? Good. There was another comment here that's been deleted off the file.
What was it?
Something about someone wasted their comment, like in my Gun It video, where he took it back. Why are you taking things back? Why are you taking comments back? Why are you deleting comments? Did you see that comment?
No.
Really?
Where was it?
It was in the doc. Let me see if it's on this version here. Before it updates quickly. Literally said, hold on. Oh crap, it's gone. Brent, you saw it.
Me?
You could have. You must have. How did I see it? I didn't make that up.
I don't know.
It must have been an old one.
No, because he referenced the Gun It video. He said I had to delete my comment. Something like I wasted my time laughing.
No, I think it was the old
Gun
one.
It video.
I think they were probably watching the live. I don't think it's when the clip came out. Because I think it might have been in the doc for when Benedicta came. So when I've changed it over, Brent's
Well, when did the person laugh? Why did they delete the comment? They laughed. They wouldn't have deleted the comment, they laughed.
I don't know.
I think it was from the clip. But anyway, cut a long story short, I don't want to take comments back. To be fair, I'll take a comment back. I'll take a lot of things back, to be fair. I'll take my like back. Yeah, I will do that. Just quickly, are you saying good morning to the people?
Yes. Good morning, Christy.
So I didn't mean to be cheeky about that. I just wanted to know before I got into what we're going to say.
Huh?
I wasn't being cheeky when I asked that. I
didn't take it like that. It's
Oh, is it
alright.
on?
It's
Okay.
cool. It's cool.
Wonderful.
Good morning, Mirad Semra. Good morning, Cindy. Good morning, Teddy Tibbs. Ruby Wednesday. Laura. Laura ain't seen you in a minute.
Who? Laura?
Laura, yeah.
When Laura?
I've seen her in 90s Babies chat though. Good morning, Gin and Gist. Good morning, Jussie Uggers. Good morning, Lewis Williams. Good morning, Clobella. It's a nice name. Good morning, Dr. Amani. Good morning, Amy Snowglobe. Good morning, Izzy Bambino. Good morning, Smile. What happened?
Matthew said, it was set. You know you can't share things with people, you know.
I showed them.
Big up Matthew there.
I showed them a couple of videos yesterday.
A couple?
Big up Matthew.
Not even one.
No, I
No,
did.
we have to see Brent's beanie.
Yeah.
Brent's first beanie.
So it was one that I showed them, but then when it is I realized that Sammy was in one of them, I'm like, this is the opportunity to basically show them levels.
Is that her name?
It's
Her name was Lils.
No, levels, they said.
Oh, Levels. Oh, I love
Yeah.
You're cheeky for that.
Good morning, Abby. Good
Clownery
morning.
is going to come back to bite me.
Probably. Good morning, Esquire. Good morning, Everest. Good morning, Nyamdi. Good morning. Who else? I just glitched.
Right? Wait, how'd you say that again?
Nyamdi?
It's Namdi.
Namdi. Sorry.
It's an Igbo name.
Okay, Namdi. Good morning, IX.
No, 9.
Good morning, 9 Ether.
Pick up 94.
No, IX.
Wham family. 9 is red as 9, Brent. Oh, he even did it before I even said it.
Well, he should have put it as the name. Because he's reading the comment.
But I like how they knew I was going to get it wrong.
Love it there. Big up IX.
Good morning, Fernand. 9 Ether, what's today's mathematics?
They might not be into that. 95, you Nuwapian.
It must be. You can't be out here.
Are you?
A Nuwapian.
Oh?
A Nuwapian.
What's that? It's like a different
It's
language. What are you speaking like? Is that English?
I mean, it's not English, but it's a how do I explain?
Is that people?
Yeah, it's a group. Like they're like a black conscious group, isn't it?
There's hella groups, you know.
Yeah, loads. They follow the teachings of Dr. York.
Yeah. Okay, big up
Uh,
y'all.
One day, maybe we'll talk about it.
No, we wouldn't. No, we wouldn't.
You be reading all the wrong things, man. Good morning, Iman B. Good morning, Matthew K. Good morning, Black Mara. Good morning, Cindy M. Good morning, Maggie. Good morning, Big Miles. Good morning, Sarah Amar. Lola, do me like that. Don't do me like that. It's because of the time my works are pulled up, right?
Why are you whispering?
I'm just reading what she's
I
saying.
know, but you might as well read out loud. We can hear you anyway.
Good morning, Star Crew, formerly known as...
Oh, why is he retired then?
Yeah,
You don't wake and bake no more.
No, he does.
You're ashamed.
But he is threatened me.
Oh.
So
Can't
I
have that.
dropped it. Big scaredy cat. Good morning, Crud Crew. Good morning, DCF Mooks. Life of Bodge. Good morning, Violin. Good morning, Ebony Onyx. Good morning, 0121NP.
I feel like it's 0121 NP. I feel like they're from Birmingham. It's 0121 Birmingham, I think it is. Or is it Manchester?
I don't know.
But it's a 0.
Yeah, but you know people are so uncultured. They call 0. I hear people tell me the number and they're like, oh, no. O is the letter. You're an educated egg. It's 0. But...
All right, that's it.
What about Mercy?
I got tired.
Morning, Miss G. You just keep adding numbers and consonants in your names, but it's tired. All right, morning, Miss G. Morning, Mercy. Morning, Davina. Davina, I hope you are well and your baby's well as well. Big up Ramsey every single time, my fave. Morning, Lala. It's taking an hour, I'm tired. Morning, Kay. That's it. Oh, 0161 is Manchester, so that's Birmingham. Yeah, I thought so. Thank you very much, NP. Said I'm right. It's 0121 Birmingham. Big up you. What was I going to say as well? I was going to say something else. I can't remember. But basically, went out yesterday, didn't we, Brent? We went to an event. We went to a live podcast show. A podcast... How does this sentence go? A podcast live show? Live podcast show? Yeah, podcast live show. Y'all ain't even trying.
I swear to God.
Who would have done? I love the word thunk so much.
Who would have thunk it, man?
I love that word so much.
Okay.
Who would have thunk it? But yeah, so I went to so there's a podcast called Adventures from the Bedrooms of African Women, and it's hosted by two ladies called Nana and Malaka. Big up them. Really, really good turnout. Really, really great vibes. It was in Islington. And so they had a live show yesterday. And on the panel, they had basically podcast live show, but they had like 4 different women come on, amazing women. They had Audrey from Receipts, whom I love so much. They had Sabrina Elba as well. They had Yomi Adegoke. She's the one who wrote the book, The List. And they had a lady called Africa Brooke as well. It was really, really good conversation. Very important. It's actually really sick. I love the idea of the podcast. Because I feel like when it comes to sex and stuff, and Black women don't get the freedom to be sexual, like, just for lack of anything, I'm just going to say white women.
Was it about freakiness and thing, yeah?
No. It was just about sexual, like just being able
Sexual liberation.
Not you, all of a sudden now you're cultured and you know things.
I'm just saying, I wanted to check that one out. I saw it. It's piqued my
did you?
interest.
Well, you were sent an invite, so.
When was it? Yesterday?
Yeah.
Ain't no one tell me.
In the group chat, you don't check.
Shit. Did you go?
So, yeah. Of course I did. Held it down. But yeah, so it was a really, really good conversation. I feel like with African women, like we don't get the there's a lot of shame attached to sex when it comes to African women. Somehow you're expected to have children and like satisfy your husband and whatnot, but there's no sex education, and there's so much shame attached to the fact that you're a sexual being, even though we have sexual organs.
Ain't no shame. That's why I wanted to come, because I want to help change that narrative.
They want to volunteer for me.
Hmm?
They want to volunteer for me.
They don't need to hear me talk, baby. They don't need to hear me. Get me. You just gotta feel me. You know
I'm
what
so
saying?
done with you. I'm done with you. Anyways, it was a very good conversation. I'm really, really here. I really enjoyed it. Big up Pilar. What a babe. I met her a while ago actually. So big up Pilar. She's a producer. She does like just a lot of stuff, man. Pilar is just a working babe, honey. But yeah, big up Pilar. Thanks for inviting us. And it was a lot of fun, man. So big up the women as well for hosting a great show. I like spaces where like there's a lot of Black women that come together and they all feel very safe and just very like themselves and they're just living their best lives. Like women are just so great. Gosh, how could you not love a Black woman? Oh, you're down bad if you don't. Anyways, big up them. It was a lot of fun. How's everybody else doing?
I'm alright, man.
I like your top, very crisp.
Thank you, man. I'm just pissed. Pissed I missed the pod, man.
The show yesterday.
Sure,
It
yeah.
was a good show. It was a good time.
Was there talent in the audience?
I like men, so
I like men.
I like being a black man. Love me a black man. So no, there weren't many men in the audience. There's like a man that was Brent next to me. Lovely
Oh,
Brent.
Brent went as well.
He did.
Scoundrel.
Big up the brothers from Savras Brothers from ESM podcast. Saw them there as well. And there was a couple of men that were accompanying their partners. Love that. Love a supportive black husband or partner. And there were a couple like queer guys there as well, I think. Yeah, but they were listening to the podcast and stuff. So that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun, actually. The last lady was really, really good. I think she's what was she again? She was a not a sex consultant. That sounds wild.
Let me check.
Like a therapist or something like that, wasn't it?
The flyer. Let me see.
Oh, I've got it actually. She's a coach. She's like a sex coach, which was really, really good. I liked her. I liked her confidence and stuff. Gorgeous woman, man. So that's great. Got a goodie bag. Love a goodie bag. I can try Sabrina Elba's brand. She's got like a skincare brand, Sables, which uses like I know when she was on the receipts, she was talking about really good episode by the way. Check that out. It was really good when she was on receipts. But she was talking about like using okra in one of the ingredients, and apparently its properties and stuff. I can just imagine how hydrating that would be. Oh, so I'm gonna try the cleanser and then I'll see where I go from there. But yeah, man, I enjoyed it. Got black women doing big black things. How's everybody else doing? Where have you been? Therefore, you quit the show. People were in the comments crying and stuff. They're out here cussing us, telling me and Margs we're so useless on the show.
Yeah,
I ain't no show if you're not here.
You make the show, man.
Love that for you.
I'm pretty sure that didn't happen.
They actually did, you know.
I really did.
They're actually roasting us. We barely even said you're not coming back anymore. These are talking about, well, there's no show if this email's not here. First of all, what are you tuning into? Talk about there's no show if email's not here. What are you tuning into right now? A dance? But anyways, yeah, the people have missed you though.
I'm back, man. I'm
Love
back.
that.
Yeah, man. You know, the white man tried to...
Oh, shut up. What are white people going to really going to try and get you? They're really going to try and get you. How are you guys doing, Brent, Margs?
I'm alright, man. I thought I was going to be more tired than I am now because I was up late watching basketball.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look, you doing your reaction stuff. Love that for you.
I
They're out in the field.
only made it till half the game, man. It got to like 2:30 and I said, nah, man.
I'm going to go to bed.
I'm going to bed. I can't do this shit. This is crazy.
Fair.
But yeah, no, I'm good, man. Rested, ready for the world. Went and got some breakfast. Brought my
Love
snacks
that.
in.
You're prepared. Prepared for a long day.
Yeah, man. Got my legs out, you know. Everything's good today, man.
Love that. Brent?
I'm alright, thank you.
Okay.
That's very nice and sweet. Oh, Brent, I love you so much,
I'm
man.
blessed and highly favored. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. That's what I want to hear.
I caught some of Terrace Howard, Brent. Oh, but that's not for today, is it?
No, it's for
Yeah,
tomorrow.
it's
babe.
tomorrow. How much have you seen so far?
I watched the whole thing.
All right. So when you said you caught some of it,
I'm telling you what happened when I watched.
I'll be real with you. I'm on that flow.
You know what I'm
I'm
saying,
catching
man?
some, Brent, I'm lost. I'm lost. It's ridiculous. That man's brain does not work like an average. Like, he's not average.
this is interesting. Have you caught some of it, Emmanuel?
Yeah.
As
I
in
think
the
I'm like
same
a
way as he
third.
means it?
Yes, because I was doing other things. So like I had it obviously on 1.75 and I'm trying to do other things in it. So
But you feel like you're going crazy.
you know what I mean? So at times I'm like, oh wait a minute. What was he talking about here? Because it's like my brain's now got back to listening properly in it. So I have to rewind and stuff like that. So I thought, you know what, let me just leave it for now and then tomorrow I'll listen to it properly. So I'm like a third in.
What do you feel so far whilst multitasking whilst listening to it?
There's just some things that he's just talking nonsense about.
Mm.
Yeah, it's almost like, I always say this, if you look for something, you find it, right? And I feel like he's trying to find, in certain areas anyway, trying to find certain things that make sense to him. You know that skit where Cat Williams is talking, not skit, stand-up where Cat Williams is basically talking about why we spell certain words a particular way. Why there's a silent P here and I can't remember the words he gave, right? And he made a big joke about it. And he's like, why are we doing this? Why is there silent maybe G or whatever in the lasagna, whatever it may be, right? It's kind of like him when he did that whole 1 times 0 thing and all that other stuff. It's like, this is just the way things are because of so-and-so. And it's like you're going back 1,000 years to try and figure out something that people should know at the age of 4.
But that's the point that he's making. It's the way things are because it's not so-and-so. It's because that's what they told you. And he's questioning whether it's right, whether it's wrong.
But nobody tells you anything in maths. You observe it. It's just a universal law. You know what I mean?
I don't know, like I said, I'm not a mathematician, but the maths thing I agree with him on.
Yeah, you saying that you just observe math.
Yeah.
How do you communicate what you've observed? With some sort of language, right?
The language of maths.
And who formulated the language of math?
God. Because a unit is a unit. You remember that time me and you...
Wait. Did you understand what he said just now?
I heard it.
I heard it. He said God did.
Yeah. This is why everyone can understand it regardless of your culture. This is why cultures from across the world who never interacted before had an understanding of basic principles of maths.
It's because they all taught the same thing. At one point, everybody agreed that this is what was going on, and they taught it, and they taught across the world. So obviously, everybody's got an understanding of it. What are you talking about?
People traveled and taught other flipping communities.
That's what you think happened?
No, as in how it spread. Of course.
No. I'm talking about the basics of maths.
If you believe, if you're saying you're using God as an example,
yeah.
What is your particular record or documentation of how humanity started? What just let me not say yours because yours differs, right?
What do you mean? Elaborate.
As in, how did the world start?
I think he's a Big Bang kind of guy.
It might be the Big Bang.
Don't might be. He asked you a question.
No, but
the
thing is, I don't necessarily know. I guess the mechanism. To me, it could simply be the Big Bang, but God spoke it.
What do you believe in?
I've not taken enough time to actually go into that.
Then
particular
fair
thing,
enough. I can't answer this question to you then.
But if you're putting me on the spot to be like, okay, cool, how do I think happen? I'll basically just say God spoke into existence, but I believe that the physical world, the actual science behind it, the best explanation we have is the Big Bang. You understand what I'm saying?
Question: do you believe that the world was reset at some point in time? Because these scientists believe.
What do you mean by reset, though?
Like
how
asteroids, I think they call it the Great Andreas, something or the other, where there was a comet that came and just wiped everything out, and then there was the Ice Age where everything was wiped out again, and then civilization started back again.
Yeah.
Do you believe in all of that?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Because I guess there's evidence in different places about certain things.
I'm just saying what they theorize this, that it's happened a few times. Civilization had restarted, right? This is what they believe in. And in civilization starting again, isn't there a rediscovering of how the world works?
I think it depends on how bad the reset was. And if you're saying...
I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this.
No, I'm just saying that based on the question you're saying. Not that you necessarily are saying this, but just based on the question, it depends, I think, on how bad the reset was. You know what I'm saying? If there was a reset and there was no human beings at all, and then the human beings had to start again from somewhere, I don't know. Then obviously you're starting from scratch. But if there were human beings that existed before, let's just say a flood, for example, then when they come out of the flood, they're still going to know what 1 + 1 is. They're still going to know how to build certain things because you had shelter prior to the flood.
Okay, and do you also agree that with certain civilizations, when they were conquered, certain information was completely erased or destroyed?
Yeah.
And humanity had to basically relearn or rediscover certain things.
No, yeah, but when you're saying humanity, you're saying a culture, then you're saying humanity. So what you're...
All right, so I'm not sure how far into the video you are, but from the video, he said that there was a flower of life that was discovered on a wall in Egypt by, I don't know who it was. And then off the back of that, they looked to try to decipher it. And off the back of deciphering it, they created straight lines. Did you see that, Matt? They created straight lines. Off the back of those straight lines.
That makes perfect sense to me.
Off the back, because he explained it well, right?
You know what it is, yeah?
No, we're not doing this today.
Yeah, so tomorrow
want
we're
it
gonna
tomorrow.
I'm saying,
yeah.
a lot of the stuff that he said, I was already there.
I'm already compromised.
You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
already
A lot of
compromised.
stuff he says, I already understand.
All right,
and
Friday.
I'm already
But
there.
off the back of that, Emmanuel, off the back of them finding that, they then look to hypothesize different formulas and how to read this, that, and the next off the back of that discovery. And he's saying, off the back of that discovery, they read it wrong.
Okay, the discovery of the flower of life.
Yes.
And from the flower of life, man created straight lines.
Yes.
Okay.
Shapes.
Okay. So these shapes and stuff like this, right? They didn't know none of this stuff existed.
I want you to finish watching and then we discuss it on Friday.
All right then.
Because what we're doing here is counterproductive.
Yeah. Exactly. Cool.
All right, cool.
All right, Spotify comments. Curtis Jackson says, I disagree with whoever said E-Man is the star of the show.
There you go.
They didn't even let you sit down properly. To me, the star of the show is definitely Marks. Bro carrying TD on his back, same way Wayne Rooney carried Man United in 09-10. Don't you ever address me again, Curtis.
I didn't say, all my life, yeah.
Ever address me
You see when you
again,
paused, yeah?
Curtis.
I thought he was getting ready to put you on the pedestal.
Wow, that's what I was gonna put on a
On my
pedestal.
life.
On mine. Because I didn't want to spoil it for myself. I didn't want to give myself a spoiler alert. So I was reading. I was finding out as I went. You ever address me again, you little heifer? Lynn M32 says, "What, Marks? James Spader is elite. You cannot call him meaty. That's absolute rubbish. Brent is spot on. That guy may play the same version of himself, but it just works. And he plays the same version of himself. The guy from
Blacklist.
Yeah.
I've only
He plays the same version of himself of everything, but it's lit.
not elite though. Elite's
brings himself to the
elite's
table.
a stretch. He might be alright. He might be good.
You know when they say what do you bring to the table? He's like me.
And his character in that show is the show. To be fair to him.
Yeah. I feel like whatever he's on.
What's his name? Red.
Yeah. Was it?
Raymond Redditon.
Yeah, Red.
Yeah.
So like when he's not on the screen, the show's meaty basically.
One
Yeah,
Blacklist.
I'm
Yeah.
Because it's about him.
Yeah. I'm not a mad advocate for Blacklist. This is not
You're not,
his PS de la Resistance.
No, but when you went on his
All right.
discography or whatever it's called, there weren't much there.
There was plenty.
What that was what people was raving about. You talk about what you talk about Boston Legal and them thing there.
I told you I discovered him in Boston Legal.
What's his name again?
James Spader.
Spader.
James Spader.
How am I spelling Spader? S-P-A.
S-P-I-D-E-R.
Big there. Why are you talking like that?
Because he said it like that. Spider.
Yeah, you don't.
Dear. All right. We don't know. Okay, we got an email from Dr. Mani. Hey, I've been thinking.
Oh, no, sorry. I saw Stargate. Stargate was alright.
Is that carry on?
I think that's where. Is that where I started?
Stargate.
Believing.
Since we started believing in Stargate. Stargate was decent, you know.
Yeah. And they talk about Anunnaki in Stargate. That's the flipping premise of the show. All of those particular gates with inter-universal travel.
Yeah.
You're going through the gates and you're going to another world and whatnot. And then you have those particular aliens that I guess have gold as their main form of not currency but idol. Let me shut my mouth. It's dope.
Oh, I've seen, but he was young. He looked different when he got older, innit? That's the problem with this guy.
Yeah, he came into his final form when he was older.
But I could picture him when he was younger. Yeah, but a lot of these stuff, okay, Crash.
Yeah, you would love Boston Legal. If you love House,
Yeah.
you would love Boston Legal.
Yeah, no, Elite is a stretch.
Yeah, because you're not familiar with his work, that's why.
Okay, fair play. All right, sorry guys, go on.
All right. So, an email from Dr. Mani, who we had on the other day. I believe it was Tuesday, wasn't it? So check out that episode. Hey, I've been thinking about one of the callers we had. I think his name is Chambo, my bad. I wanted to leave a message for him or anyone else that might benefit from this. Feel free to read out in the next show. Firstly, I want to thank him for calling in and being so open because I'm sure it wasn't easy. This was the guy that called, the Somalian guy, wasn't it? Somali guy.
Yeah, Somalia, yeah.
I never take people sharing their stories for granted. The trauma he spoke about is something that a lot of people in the diaspora are impacted by and is still ongoing around the world. If anyone is interested in understanding how war and conflict or other types of trauma can impact you, they can take a look at the Trauma Council website. The link is
Posted.
posted.
I've just posted in the chat.
But for anyone who's not in the chat, it's uktraumacouncil.org.
I'll put it in the description.
Yes, perfect. Thank you. So check it out in the description. For anyone who thinks that their lives have been impacted by trauma but isn't sure about going to therapy yet, that's okay, by the way. Maybe start to think about how to care for your body. Trauma can disconnect us from our physical health. Even the basic things like exercise, a healthy diet, and having fresh air can help. For anyone looking for therapy, they can look on BAATN. That's www.baatn.org.uk, and also another company called Culture Minds, and that is culturemindstherapy.com. I hope he's able to speak with his GP, and if he's comfortable, update us on his journey. Signed, Dr. A. Oh, what a babe. Also, signing Dr. A is such a flex. But no, that is really, really thoughtful and very, very helpful. So yes, please, if you do want to explore that, the links will be in our description. Definitely check that out. But I just definitely think it's worth. That's actually one of the conversations I wanted to have with her about how trauma manifests in our physical bodies, because it does. It's crazy. But yeah, big up Dr. Mani for being so lovely and such a babe every single time, and also big up Chamber. It's Chamber.
Yeah.
Big up Chamber. I hope you do what you need to do, my love. But yeah, all right. We've got a lot to talk about today, child. Rishi Sunak is wilding, honey. Let's get into it.
All right, so our first headline, the biggest news of the year probably, and Rishi Sunak has called a surprise general election for the 4th of July in a high-stakes gamble that will see Keir Starmer try to win power for Labour after 14 years of a Conservative-led government. Addressing the nation outside of Downing Street, Sunak said it was the moment for Britain to choose its future, as he claimed that the Tories could be trusted to lead the country during a time of global instability. Sunak's words were met with alarm, of course, by senior Tories who were concerned that their party, who, by the way, is trading 20 percentage points behind Labour in the polls, could face electoral wipeout, with some MPs even considering submitting letters of no confidence. Starmer is widely expected to become the next Prime Minister after transforming Labour since its historic election defeat almost 5 years ago. The Prime Minister informed King Charles of his plans at Buckingham Palace earlier in the afternoon during his regular 15-minute Wednesday audience, and the Palace confirmed that, as usual, the royal family would postpone engagements during the course of the campaign. Our next headline, and big trigger warning on this one, I'm not too sure if you guys heard about this, but some sad news, and children were actually among those in hospital after being injured in a crash between a tractor and a bus in Kent. I'm not too sure if you guys heard. The collision occurred on A227 and South Street.
Oh, that's the one, Orpington.
Exactly. Several bus passengers were injured in the crash and are now receiving treatment at hospital. South East Coast ambulance said they treated and took 12 patients to local hospitals, while one patient was airlifted to King's College Hospital in South London. Officers attended the scene alongside paramedics, an air ambulance and Kent Fire and Rescue Service as well. And our last headline, Ireland, Spain and Norway have announced that they will recognise a Palestinian state as Israel accused the nations of rewarding Hamas for its brutal attack on the 7th of October. Do you feel like the tide is really turning that?
I'll be very honest with you, I don't even know what's going on anymore.
Okay.
It just feels like a bunch of foolishness because I just keep hearing Biden. Like I keep hearing all these leaders that should be only saying one thing ideally, saying opposite things. And I'm like, okay, so why are you involved? Like, why are you going to have your way to let people know that you're a mug in your brain? So it's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, man, but it's kind of interesting that I guess some of these countries are now saying, you know what, we will recognise Palestine, which is obviously not what Israel wants now or tomorrow.
But recognising them, what does that mean though?
As an independent state, like it's a real country.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But yeah, all three of those countries see the move as necessary to secure a two-state solution and to ensure peace for both the Israeli and the Palestinian people. It comes amid mounting international criticism of Israel's plans to conduct a full-scale offensive in the besieged southern Gaza city of Rafah, where around 1 million Palestinians are sheltering. The move will officially come into force on the 28th of May. Announcing plans to recognize the state of Palestine, Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez received applause in Parliament as he called for peace in Gaza. This is what he said. He said, "We are going to recognize Palestine for many reasons, and we can sum that up in 3 words: peace, justice, and consistency. It's essential that the two sides negotiate for peace, and it is for this reason that we recognize Palestine." Big up the Palestinians, man.
Look at them.
And that's it for our headlines.
All right, let's get into our What You Saying topic of the day.
All right, people. So today's topic of the day, probably you would have guessed that it would be about the general election. And we ain't gonna talk too much about it because obviously it's just literally just starting. But everything will be, I guess we're basically gonna touch on everything in it because at the end of the day we can talk 6 weeks about Love Island. Pretty sure we can talk for 6 weeks
Love
about.
Island is back.
Oh yeah, isn't it?
No, I don't know. I'm asking.
No. I saw Maya Jama talking.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did that walk?
Like in an advert or something. So I think it's coming back.
It's
Yeah.
definitely back. If you see Maya Jama in an ad walking, you see the back of her. She's back.
Yeah, it's coming back, man. But yeah, man. So obviously we need to inform the people about what's going on. But yeah, when you guys heard about it yesterday, like, what was your thoughts?
I said, I wonder why. I wonder why they're doing it. They sprung up so quick. So something's going on, or something's happening, or they're trying to distract. There's an agenda. It's not just because they feel like, oh, do you know what? Let the British people get their say. Something's happening. They're either trying to cheat the system. There's either something that they're trying to avoid, whereby if they do the election afterwards, they're definitely gonna lose.
Okay.
Or maybe they're about to close on something that's gonna give them make people think, okay, they're doing things. But there's definitely like a reason why it's been scheduled for when it's been scheduled.
Okay. I hear you. Yeah. Margs, Brent, you lot thinking?
Because things are just going from bad to worse for them, and I figured they reckon this is the best time to go before it gets any
Worse.
before it gets any worse. You know what I'm saying?
But is it the worst time though? If inflation is back to how it was, it's the lowest level it's been for like 4 or 5 years.
No, I don't care about all that. You
are still jobless.
You got us here anyway.
Yeah.
Like, you bring us here anyway, so now we're supposed to be praising you because you fixed that. What are you talking about? I don't think anybody cares.
But did they bring us here though?
They've been in charge for 14 years.
Yeah, but
anything bad that's happened is their fault.
100% it is. But like, do you feel like they maybe just responded to, I guess, what was happening in the world? Like COVID, the war, all of those things are going to impact inflation. And with regards to inflation, they're doing better than all the other countries in Europe as well. And the economy is growing faster than America right now. Granted, for full transparency, that's only in the last 3 months, but it's still something. You know what I mean? So is this really a bad time, or is it like...
Yeah, it's still terrible. People are still going through what they're going through and living through what they're living through, and they're at the head, so they're responsible for it, you know what I'm trying to say? And obviously you can massage it however you want, but only people that support them like you are going to try and turn it into a positive because they're cleaning up their own mess.
Okay, I Brent, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think it was. I was surprised it was June, to be honest. I thought it would be later on in the year. So I got excited because that means that we are going to be producing top quality content for a good few weeks.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's all very exciting. I'm assuming that we all know where it's going, but I'm interested to see how the Tories try to win this. I'm very, very curious. So that titillates me.
I hear you. I feel the same way, actually. It's like, yeah, pretty much just like what you said, man. I'm trying to visualize how they can actually, what they will say. And when I heard his speech yesterday, I could see that I think some of the tactics will be to attack Starmer. You know what I'm saying? Not just Labour, but Starmer as well. You know what I'm saying? Talking about how, he backed out of certain things. I'm going to read some parts of his speech, both of them, just so that people can understand what they were saying. Did you notice that, well, if you saw the speech, you would have seen that he was just like in the rain, innit?
I didn't hear the speech, but I saw some image of him like soaking wet.
Soaking wet.
No, seriously.
Yeah, man.
Why did you have to do that in the rain?
Huh?
What's wrong with him? Why did you have to do that in the rain?
He didn't know.
He didn't know it was raining.
He didn't know it was gonna rain. So he probably was like, okay,
So,
cool. At 4 o'clock.
The
I'll
leader
do
of the
this.
country doesn't ever think to check the weather app. It doesn't pay attention to detail then. That's a red flag.
Yeah.
So now he's outside in the rain.
But you know, I think because he wants it for the 4th of July, you have to give it 6 weeks. So he's like, to get it for that date, no
He's like,
matter
I can't
what,
wait
I
tomorrow.
need to be. So yeah, man.
Dear.
Oh gosh. Okay, so there are quite a few things that he was talking about. He pretty much said in the last 5 years, our country has fought through the most challenging times since the Second World War. Right? Obviously, trying to paint the picture that it's not our fault, and obviously, anyone I guess who was in power would have had to deal with this, and you know what I mean, probably would have had a tough time as well. But he also said, I have never and will never leave the people of this country to face the darkest of days alone.
Bye-bye.
Economic stability is the bedrock of any future success, whether that is rising wages and good jobs, investment in our public services, or the defense of our country. Our economy is now growing faster than anyone predicted, outpacing Germany, France, and the US. And this morning, it was confirmed that inflation is back to normal. We've tackled inflation, controlled the debt, cut workers' taxes, and increased the state pension by £900, right? And on the 5th of July, either me, sorry, that was me saying that, he said, on the 5th of July, either Keir Starmer or I will be the Prime Minister. He has shown time and time again that he will take the easy way out and do anything to get power. What do you think?
He needs to shut up.
Yeah.
What the hell he needs to do? He needs to shut up.
Just nonsense.
It's a decent speech, though. Highlighting the main points, you know?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, COVID, the war, all these things. Like, I don't know. You say that they can't control it, but their stance on all of it has been a joke. You get me? They contributed to bare deaths in COVID. It was his idea to eat out to help out.
Yeah.
The way they handled the Ukraine war, they ruined lives. Remember that man who broke up with his wife because he took in the Ukrainian woman? There's bare things that's happening, you know what I'm trying to say? That obviously the NHS is always going through stuff, but I feel like it's like the conditions for nurses and stuff pays worse as it's ever been. Teachers, homelessness is in the mud. You know what I'm trying to say? That people ain't got no money. They lied about immigration and tried to target like immigrants in order to like galvanize people. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like chatting shit. They tried to send them to Rwanda. Like, and even that's just recent history. That's got nothing to do with the last 14 years. That's just recent stuff. Like they've done. I ain't listening to nothing this man's saying. To be totally honest with you, it's an absolute shit show, and it's not even a case of that Labour's going to be 100% better and Keir Starmer's definitely better than the thing. But like the buck stops with them, innit? And you got to face the repercussions of the things that's going on. That's leadership. Like it falls with you lot. You know what I'm trying to say? And I don't reward mediocrity in these things. So they gotta go, even if it's just for one term and they come back. Like that's just politics and democracy and how it works, isn't it? But they got to answer for their crimes, bro. Like it's been too long. Like they gotta go. So I ain't listening to nothing he's saying. To be totally honest with you, it don't matter what he says.
So at the moment, you've made up your mind that you may not know who you're going to vote for,
But it's not
but
them.
it's definitely not them.
It's definitely not them.
I know who I'm voting for.
Oh, you do know? Okay, cool.
I'm not going to waste my vote and go Green Party. I'm not going to put my vote somewhere where it's not going to impact it. Because if I vote Green or Lib Dems and Conservative wins, that's my fault.
Yeah, they're not winning.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
But is there a chance they're going to win, though? In your mind?
Who?
Tories.
Do you know what? Britain is so upside down.
Yeah, you
I'm
don't
not
know.
Yeah.
There's still a fan base out there.
Yeah.
Like people talk
People
is
are
cheap, but
loyal.
now it's here, and they got decisions to make. It's different. Even the people that was feeling like, oh, they can't vote Conservative no more, and the rest of it there.
Yeah.
They could romanticize and fantasize about that. It was months away. It's coming in 6 weeks now. They got real decisions to make. There's certain people been conservative. Their family been conservative their whole life. Are they really gonna do this? Do you know what I'm trying to say? There's a lot of people that just stick to what they know and just do what they do. So I don't think it might be a small chance, but yeah, there's always a chance. There's always a chance. And again, depending on how the campaigns run and who they convince and whatnot, like you know everything that I know, and you're still gonna vote for them. So, like,
What's your response to
you know
that?
what I'm trying to say?
What's your response to that, man?
I never said I'm going to vote for Tories.
You're not saying you're not going to.
No, because obviously,
Here we go.
I believe that I need to look at the policies, right? I have to listen to what you're saying. I have to believe that you can carry out what you're saying. That's all it is. So we'll see who's best. For
Quite a
the
lot
But
of
you're
country.
big on
very
but you're big
conservative.
on economics, and the Tories are good on economics, so they're speaking to you already.
No, but using your argument though, are they good at economics? If right now they could like the economic situation, well, not right now, but prior to a couple years ago, it was terrible.
But you're going to justify that it wasn't their fault. It was COVID and it was the war, and now it's getting better.
But you know what? The thing is, there's different stages to like, I guess, to a process of trying to develop a country economically, right? So this might be a stage where we might need more spending. You know what I'm saying? Hypothetically, right? And so maybe Labour is probably the best time at this particular juncture. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not too sure, man. Depends on what every politician's saying, innit? About their particular, their particular party and whatnot. But obviously, long story short, man, I've never voted Tories before, and it's not like I'm going to start now. But I do think it's important for us to kind of listen to every single party, though. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely going to try my best to try and get representatives from every single party on the show, so we can kind of ask them the right questions and whatnot, and so people can make a choice. Because I do think it is important for us to not go back to our natural defaults and be like, oh yeah, I'm just voting Labour, when you may have an incompetent leader. And he showed you already. He doesn't even know what working class is. I keep saying it.
I feel like a part of me feels like Labour as well. They're dependent on people being sick of conservatives and just going straight for them. That's why actually it's definitely worth looking at what everyone's doing. But I just feel like the other parties haven't just been loud though. If Lib Dem had actually been, I feel like they've been louder and they might actually have. They will probably be getting people more votes. I feel like Labour is comfortable in feeling like it's always two of us, and if people are sick of you guys, it's automatically going to come to us.
Yeah.
So they're not really trying to like do much like that. You need to get some marketing teams on these political things.
It's terrible, man. I'm just going to read out what Sunak said about Starmer in another section as well. He said, obviously, the part I mentioned before, he has shown time and time again that he will take the easy way out and do anything to get in power. If he was happy to abandon all the promises he made to become Labour leader once he got the job, how can you know that he won't do exactly the same thing if he were to become Prime Minister? If you don't have the conviction to stick to anything you say, if you don't have the courage to tell people what you want to do, and if you don't have a plan, how can you possibly be trusted to lead our country, especially at this most uncertain of times? Over the next few weeks, I'll fight for every vote. I'll earn your trust, this, that, and the third. That's what he went on to say. There's another part I can't find, but I remember him saying, I know he hasn't got a plan. How do I know? Because he hasn't ever said it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
So funny, I like that.
Yeah, you know, and I don't know, like this might be one of the worst times in our lifetimes when it comes to politics, man, because these parties really are just terrible, really are terrible. All right, I want to read out what Starmer said though. It wasn't in response; it was just him, obviously, you know, letting people know that obviously he's running for general election and that he's ready. So he said, tonight the Prime Minister has finally announced the next general election, a moment the country needs and has been waiting for. A vote for Labour is a vote for stability, economic and political, a politics that treads more lightly on all of our lives, a vote to stop the chaos. Fair enough. Our offer is to reset both our economy and our politics so that they once again serve the interests of working people. He don't know what working class is though. Just had to remind you all. We totally reject the Tory view that economic strength is somehow gifted from those at the top. We have a long-term plan to rebuild Britain, a plan that is ready to go, fully costed and fully funded. Service of our country is the reason and the only reason why I'm standing here now asking for your vote. What do you think?
Everyone's a phony, man. I just don't over it.
This is the problem. I don't really rate Starmer like that. You know what I'm saying?
He's just like Boris Johnson's like adopted brother.
Boris Johnson's better than him though.
No, absolutely. Yeah. But he just reminds me. He's just like in terms of how Boris Johnson is as an unserious candidate. It gives that energy. Unfortunately, I just feel like they're just. I don't feel like anyone's the best.
Yeah.
It's really just voting for the lesser evil.
Yeah.
It really unfortunately. I feel like that's what politics has just come to.
Then isn't this the perfect time to, like you're saying, to potentially waste a vote then?
Yeah, but then what
To
happens if
send
you
a
waste a
message.
vote though?
Because Labour's going to win. Like, obviously, there's not
This is
prediction.
England. This is
Labour-
Britain.
They don't know.
Do you know how unfair Brits are?
It's impossible.
Oh,
It's impossible.
watch them create an initiative now. They give people £10 towards their energy. Watch them win on account of that. Britain is so unfair. I could not call it. I did not think the way previous elections have gone. I did not think they were going to go that way. I did not think flipping what's his name, Sadiq Khan, was going to flipping win after everyone was complaining and been fighting and all. I just don't see it. Britain is a very unserious place.
But
I'll be shocked. I'll be honest with you.
Sadiq
If
Khan,
Labour win.
Sadiq Khan, serious if Labour win.
I will be, because I just feel like Britain is just so unserious that apart from me, I just feel like people like complaining is part of British culture. We complain about the weather, we complain about this, like complaining. If you actually deep what a British conversation involves, is complaints. So how are they gonna have something to talk about if they vote the people they complain about? Do you know what I mean? So I'll be shocked if Labour I honestly will be shocked. Like I'll be shocked that people have had that much of enough to actually take action. Because they haven't, from what I see. People cussed Boris Johnson for time over COVID and and then some new expenses. Oh, okay, then fair enough.
To be fair though, with Boris though, there wasn't a general election, so it wasn't in the people's hands. You know what I mean? He won the election, landslide pretty much, and it was just down to the internal Tories and stuff in it, deciding things. But I feel like this is going to be a very one-sided election. So I feel like personally, this might be the best time to kind of waste your vote, to send a message to Labour that, yo, you guys, we've allowed you to be here. Like, don't take our vote for granted, because there are other options to us.
But the risk though is that if you waste your vote, because the older white Brits that vote Conservative, they make the majority of this land. Well, not the majority of the land, but the people that are Conservative, like, you know people that are Conservative to their bone? Yeah.
They're still going to
the stats is high.
Yeah.
So the chances are, if you waste your vote, no vote for Labour, chances are Conservatives are going to win, because the people that stand on business with Conservatives, they stand on business.
But the polls are saying 20%.
That's petite. But people lie. Brexit, we weren't meant to, like, the Brexit poll said what the Brexit poll, everyone went in there with confidence, like, oh yeah, we're definitely not going to leave, What did we hear? You're leaving. Do you get what I mean? I feel like I feel like people just, it's like what Mark was saying, like when it comes down to it, are people actually going to talk the talk or walk the talk, whatever the saying is?
And everybody just wants to be fed lies anyway, because it
This is
doesn't
it.
matter what the policies are. When's it ever mattered what the policies are?
When has it ever mattered?
When has anybody ever delivered on their policies? Like, do you get what I'm trying to say? And not move the goalposts and not change things during their term and stuff like that. It doesn't matter what the policies are. That just looks good. That's just all peacocking. It's all smoke and mirrors to get the votes. But then when we're here, it's like, even once Labour, and you're saying Labour's going to go in there, 2 years into that, we're still going to be cussing the government, We're still going to feel the same way about the country, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, they ain't got some magic wand that's just gonna come and fix anything. And like, these politicians they don't do shit. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, so obviously,
But don't you want to feel like, cool, yeah, the country's in a bad state, but I can see that they're trying. You know what I'm saying? Like, certain things are improving. Like, again, I'm not trying to get anyone to vote Tories at all, right?
So you ain't never been them charges.
Just facing the facts though, Rishi said, these are the 5 things I care about. Yeah, I can't remember all 5 right now. But one of those things was inflation, bringing it down, this, that, and the third. And he's done it in that time. So if Starmer's saying, these are the 5 things I care about, if we see that he's doing that in that time, isn't that a good thing for all of us then? Because then, you know what I'm saying? Like, he can't magic the problems away, but at least we want to know that this guy is doing something and the people in his cabinet are competent. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he can do that, to me, I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? So, but yes, won't spend too long on topic of the day, because obviously we have a wonderful guest coming.
We sure do.
You know what I'm saying? So I think we can wrap it up. And like Brent's saying, over the next 6 weeks, we're going to be talking about this. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
so we got to tell all the parties' policies,
Yes, 100%.
Go for their manifestos.
all their manifestos.
Get some of them up here.
Yep.
Got a lot of work to do in the next 6 weeks, people.
Right.
Yes. All right. That's it for topic of the day.
Nice. Let's get into our next headlines.
All right, people. So next headline, trigger warning on this one. An inquest has heard that City of London police officer who tased a man armed with 2 knives. At the same time, a colleague fatally shot him. Believed at the time it was potentially a terrorist incident. So this is what the inquisitors heard. The officer, who has been given anonymity and was referred to as BX221, discharged his taser at Hassan Yahya at the same time as the 30-year-old was shot by another City of London police officer, BX222, right? And this happened 2020, March 8th. At the time, the incident was not being treated as terror-related. But BX221, given evidence on Tuesday at Inner West London Coroner's Court, said that he believed at the time that it was a potentially terrorist incident. And in the back of his mind, Mr. Yahya had been EMD, emotionally or mentally distressed. Next headline, and a Croydon police officer who called his colleague a daft Romanian what the hell thing's that? Oh. What's the abbreviation? See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
Yeah, that's it. He called him a daft Romanian. See you next Tuesday. Yeah.
God.
Whilst trying to help her with. Sorry. Let me start.
How you find out in real time?
You can't say that. Anyway, so a Croydon police officer who called his colleague a daft Romanian. See you next Tuesday. While trying to help her with her computer, has been sacked from the force. So a misconduct panel heard that PC Hugh Harris, a response officer at Croydon Police Station, made a remark to PC Oana Gerbuan on September the 6th, 2022, while she was struggling with technology. When she said that she would complain about the comments, he responded, "No one's going to believe you."
Well,
yeah, there you go.
PC, who believes who now?
You know what I'm saying? In mitigation, PC Harris told the panel that the comment was an ill-judged attempt at humour and that he was genuinely remorseful. The panel found that in his view, in view of his training as a police officer and his apparent awareness that such a comment would amount to offensive racist language, he should have stopped himself from using such language, however spontaneous. And the officer who served in the Met Police since 2018 was dismissed without notice, man. They got rid of him ASAP. Good. And the next headline, the Met Police has referred itself to the IOPC, the Independent Office for Police Conduct, following the death of a man in London. The force said that it was called to reports of a fight and criminal damage outside the Colindale tube station, northwest London, at about 1 o'clock BST on Sunday. After seeing a man had entered the underground station, the Met Police said the officers tried to detain him. The force said that he jumped onto the tracks and was fatally injured. The BTP, the British Transport Police, is investigating the circumstances of the death and continues to support the man's family. And that's it for our headlines. It's time to pay the bills.
Thank you very much. Whew, let's get into Word and Road, honey.
Did you hear that?
You're so silly. Thank you. All right, what are we starting with? Oh, actually, George Floyd. There's going to be a biopic for George Floyd. One of the things that I really liked, and I feel like is in positive. Obviously, George Floyd's situation was very, very sad and brought about a lot of stuff, right? But I feel like one of the most positive things that I've seen in regards to his murder, because it wasn't a death, it was a murder, is how people have rallied around his child, like his daughter. I think he's just got one child, isn't it? One daughter. And how they rallied around to make sure like her college tuition and stuff is paid for. Essentially, she's always going to be fine. And I just think that's so, so, so wholesome. And like, that's just real community love. But anyway, there's going to be a biopic about George Floyd, and it's called Daddy Changed the World. And his daughter is going to be executive. It's English. His daughter is going to be the executive producer on it. And again, creating wealth for that little baby girl. And, you know, her one is being kept properly and da-da-da-da. I know, like, was it Kanye that paid for her tuition? Well, I hope he did that before he went broke. But basically, I think it was Kanye that basically led a thing or like contributed to basically have her like uni fees and stuff like that. But anyways, yeah, so the biopic is called Daddy Changed the World and it's in the works. And yeah, his daughter Gianna Floyd and her mum are going to be involved in it, and they're going to be serving as the executive producers. They're saying that it's not going to be like a, you know, he's a perfect man type of thing. It's just going to show the realities of being a father and the reality of his life. Yeah, so they basically said that it will capture the life of the man whose murder in 2020 sparked a global racial reckoning and fueled the movement against police brutality. Yeah, so it's just really in the works. They're kind of looking for a director at the moment, that, you know, so it's really, really early stages, but I just thought it was absolutely amazing that, you know, yeah, but just for anyone who doesn't know, basically he was arrested after using a counterfeit $20 note, and then this sick monster by the name of Derek Chauvin basically wanted to arrest him and then knelt on his neck for more than 9 minutes while he was handcuffed and forced to lie face down on the street. And of course, we know that he passed away. And he basically called out that iconic slogan now, that is, I can't breathe. It's wild that I have to even say iconic slogan, but that can't breathe, that came from him and calling out for his mum. Very, 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 very sad. But yeah, man, so people working on it, they've said that they're excited for the world to see the real jovial and loving George that they knew. This film will humanize him, embody the essence of his life, and hopefully reignite effort to pass the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act. Okay, that's in the works. It's time for justice and equality for all. So this is actually his wife that said this. No, the mother of his child, sorry. She also said we need to make changes swiftly. No other child should lose their father like Gianna did. We thank everyone who stood with us and protested. George's legacy will live on through this film. And yeah, man, I think it'd be really good. Obviously, it would be very, very emotional as well, but I think it's great. This conversation needs to carry on. You know, it's not just a trend. It's not just a little hashtag for you to put in your bio, but you don't really live like Black Lives Actually Matter. So, yeah, man, I think that's really good. And speaking of biopics, there will be a biopic on a docuseries actually on Nicole Brown Simpson, and she was the ex-wife of O.J. Simpson. Is it alleged that someone's dead now?
No, it's alleged that he killed her though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do I have to add allege to that? Because I don't know why I think.
I get what you're saying.
Anyway, let's just say, because sometimes people's kids are greedy. The kids, the nieces, the aunties, I'm trying to sue people. So she is the ex-wife of O.J. Simpson, who he allegedly may have killed. So it's actually been 30 years since the murder of her and her, was her boyfriend at the time, wasn't it, Ron? So basically there's going to be a docuseries. I'm not sure how many episodes, but it's going to premiere on the 1st of June. I will watch it actually. And it's called The Life and Murder of Nicole Brown Simpson. And it's basically got like 50 participants. I did peep Kris Jenner in there. I did. Because you know when they try to show the faces, I don't know what the technical term is, and they show different faces very quickly. Like cut, clip, that kind of stuff. I said, I know that haircut. So I rewound it. Paused it at the right time. And there, Kris Jenner. So Kris Jenner was actually really good friends with Nicole Brown Simpson. And if you remember, she was married to Robert Kardashian, who was one of O.J. Simpson's lawyers. And apparently, according to the O.J. vs. People, series, there was a bit of friction because how are you defending the man who may have killed my best friend? Like, that's a bit wild. But anyways, yeah, so her sisters also had an exclusive interview with People magazine, and they basically said that it's important. They said basically that it's going to mark the 30th anniversary of the brutal murder of their sister, and also, they said basically other anniversaries didn't feel right, but we decided 30 years was probably the best and the last time to hear her voice and tell her story. She's not a dead body covered with a white sheet at the bottom of the stairs. That's not Nicole. We want people to see this beautiful human being. And yeah, it talks a lot. And so in there as well, in the documentary, from the trailer as well, and what I've read about it, they're going to be giving some exclusive stuff that people don't actually know about. And apparently it was an abusive relationship. The police had been called like a few times and whatnot. And they kind of wanted her to leave him and whatever else. Like, so it was a lot of stuff, and then she would like kind of cover up lies for him. Like one time they had a shattered glass door in the house. She said it was the kids, but actually allegedly it was OJ. So they're going to be saying a lot of stuff about the private conversations that they actually had with Nicole and stuff like that. And they're also going to be like, obviously there's going to be clips and stuff from the trial. They're going to talk about all of that stuff as well. I think their mum is involved. I think so. I think I saw her in the trailer, but it looks interesting as interesting can look for someone who died. But yeah, but one of her sisters also said that she's dancing in heaven. That's what she's doing. I've had lots of dreams about Nick. That's what she calls her. She's always in her jeans and a leather jacket, always happy, dancing, social, and she's always still alive. That's very, very sad, man. But Yeah, and they also said as well that the Violence Against Women Act was passed due to Nicole's murder. She's the root behind a lot of change. Unfortunately, it took my sister's life to make it happen. And that's just very, very sad. I was thinking that when about the George Floyd case as well, how it takes for someone to kind of die and be an unofficial martyr. That's the word, yeah, martyr for change to come about. Very horrible, very sad. But yeah, I will be watching that though. I'm not looking forward to someone, you know what I mean? It's awkward to say you're looking forward to it. But I will be watching it, basically. And it comes out the 1st, and I think there's 2 episodes, so 1st and 2nd of June. That will be out on Lifetime, but, you know, what is the will, there's a way. Sometimes it depends what this is about. It depends. Never really knows. It depends. It was Lifetime the one I did that had Flex Washington's fine ass being Michael Jackson with the white powder on his face. So embarrassing, man. To be fair, I feel differently now because he said he needed the money in it, which is fair. He and Shanice were going through some things, which is fair. Because he was like, I've got a child. Fair, man. That's a good husband. He's a good man, Savannah. But as your wife, I'm not watching that. I'm not supporting your career that far. Bring the check, let the check clear. But I ain't watching that.
Yeah, Flex as Michael Jackson is crazy.
Flat up. I love Flex so much, you know. Beautiful, man. Anyways, right. The next story, trigger warning, right? Because it's about Diddy, man. And this is why sometimes, you know, black people, sometimes it's just good to manage business. And I know it's difficult because something as big as Diddy's situation and people who have worked with him and whatnot, it's difficult for people to, like, I guess, quote unquote, mind their business. But sometimes there's a way to talk about things with tact and not do too much because you're in a glass house throwing rocks, stones, shoes, slippers, everything. Joe Budden was on his podcast with his lovely friends, big up Mel. I know she does every week. But Joe Budden was on his podcast slamming and disgusted and any word, is it adjectives? Any adjective, any verb, whatever you think it is, he was doing that about the Diddy situation. He was disgusted. He said when he met Diddy, remember he had State of the Culture at Revolt and Diddy was owned Revolt at the time or was part owner, whatever it was. Diddy was involved in Revolt, whatever. Diddy obviously got Joe Budden on. Diddy said to Diddy, this is even cheeky, you know. Diddy said to Joe Budden, this is according to Joe Budden on his podcast. He said that Diddy said to him, listen, I've heard a lot of stuff about you. The audacity people have. I need to walk with more audacity in this world. I think that's what's holding me back. He said...
Sorry, how did you say? How did this conversation... Where did this conversation happen? Was it before... What did you say?
I said that... he said Diddy had a conversation with him when he was going to join Revolt to sign State of the Culture.
Cool.
Yeah. Diddy said to him that, listen, I've heard a lot about you. I know what's been said out there about you and whatnot. But over here, we let cancel people in. You know, over here you got home with us. Just don't beat anybody up. Don't hit any women. Don't be involved in any kind of sort of scandal. And it's so good. Joe Budden said, and I don't even know why he didn't clock this, but he said that when he heard that, he felt at home. He felt glad that, do you know what? There is a space for me here, and we are going to do great things together. Alas. So basically, Joe Budden was basically talking about how he was disgusted by what Diddy and this is that, and like all the things that's been said in the industry. You know how Joe Budden gets, his voice gets all real loud and shit, and he starts, it's a podcast, so I guess his voice is the loudest every time. But he was just doing all he was doing. I actually had a transcript of exactly what he said about Diddy. Oh, annoyingly, I didn't send it to myself. Actually, let me see it on my phone. Sorry. Because I actually had what he said. He said he was disgusting. It was this, it was that, blah, 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 blah. Called him everything but child of God, child. I don't have it. My bad, that's a shame. Called him everything but child of God. Anyway, whatever. Obviously, then that clip has been circling around as it does with Joe Budden podcast and whatever. His ex, Tahiry. Do you remember Tahiry?
Yes.
Tahiry was Joe Budden's ex for like years, right? Mm-hmm. They were in Love and Hip Hop together and whatnot. And their relationship was toxic as heck. One time he cheated on a woman for fun. He cheated on her one time, yeah. She was like, Joey, she's called Joey. Joey, we're done. That whole kind of vibe. This man, yeah, they weren't together. She was done with him, whatever. They weren't even talking. He calls her one time, like, talking about come to Times Square. She comes to Times Square. This little man is on his knee talking about, will you marry me? And she was like, BFFR. Like, we're not even together. Like, you can't just pull out a ring and think that I'm going to marry you because what? So anyways, so she's seen a clip of that on the Shade Room and whatnot. So she says, as in she's seen Joe Budden's take on the whole Diddy situation from his podcast. And she commented and said, this whole shit took me out, so hard to watch. So sorry for Cassie and every other woman who is currently going through it or has ever gone through it. It's tough. Then she came back and said, fuck out of here. Who? She said, the irony, this is so triggering. I remember Joey throwing me down a flight of stairs, dragging me back into the house and me having to talk him into letting me go. So she's a legend. He's abused her. He again came in and said, at Tahiry, you are a lying, failed gold digger that has abused. Lying, failed gold digger is hilarious. Under the circumstances, I hate to do it, but that is a good cuss. A failed gold digger. You couldn't even get that right. That's so deep. You couldn't even dig gold. I hear digging clay. Hate to see it. Listen, but it gets worse for him though. I wish he did. But basically, because he might be because basically when in this podcast, he basically said that he wants to see a thing where clear them up. All the abusers, get them out. All that stuff, he said, but you know what's mad? He might be the next one. Because now he's got exes coming out. But we'll get to that. So he said to Tahiry, you are a lying, failed gold digger that has abused, targeted and manipulated many men. Outside of me, you lack an identity, which is why you've tried desperately to attach yourself to me for over 15 years. The last time I saw you, I purchased a mattress from you. Sorry. And you were happy you made the sale. You were fine then. There was that night after Starlet's 6 years ago when you invited me inside your new place. You were fine then too. You were on my body your entire last stint of Love and Hip Hop and tried your best to disrespect my son's mother in the process. I had to ask producers to keep you away from us like the cancer you are. Yet you continue to slight my name online because it's your identity. I don't speak to you or about you because it's low vibrational. You're a low level, is it Dykeman? The Dykeman con woman that's been lying about you already know for ages. I pray you heal and move on one day. Hopefully this is our last exchange. Prayers to all real victims. Crazy though, because he never once said he didn't throw her down the stairs and drag her.
He said that she's a liar though.
Yeah,
She's
but
kind of denied it.
Nah, man, you can't. If I feel like something that deep, you can't skirt around it. Someone can't call me, like Mark can't call me, can't accuse me of something. I'm like, oh, you're a liar. I'm like, you're a liar. When the hell have I ever done that? Where's the receipts? Like, I'm going in on you. But anyway, so that happened. But then one of his other exes came up. I think this is who he's got the first child with. I'm not sure, but her name's no, it's not. Actually, no, it's not. Her name's Raqi Thunda. So she basically posted on Instagram and she said to Tahiry, which is Joe Budden's ex, Sin, Joe Budden's ex, Kaylin, Yaris, Sharina, Odili, Esther, etc. Hold your head up and speak your truth if and when you ever feel like it. I believe these are all Joe Budden's exes, right? And she said, we can start by admitting that the storyline... So basically, she was at one point on Love and Hip Hop as well. You know how Love and Hip Hop, they've been making that shit up and like this, they tried to do a love triangle, blah, blah, blah. But obviously at the time, we didn't really cared about Stevie J, Amina and Tara and...
Rosalind.
Jocelyn, Mimi and Stevie J. Any other triangle was just not... It wasn't really giving. But anyways, so at one point, she was on Love and Hip Hop. She and Tahiry allegedly had like... Not allegedly. They had like this disagreement and fight, blah, blah. Obviously, we come to find out now when I read this that all of that was made up. But basically, she said, we can start by admitting that the storyline was made up by the three of us. So her, Tahiry and Joe. And meant to go smooth, but the camera lights got too hot and egos flared and knives got stabbed through undeserved backs. Specifically mine. And I'm an emotionally intelligent woman and can understand why a dog eats dog in that environment, especially when checks are involved. But at this big age, let's stand on truth. Let's stand on truth. We were never the ones at odds, truthfully, as in her and Tahiry. Oftentimes, women unfortunately fall victim to playing the fucked up hand they're dealt in order to keep their lights on. The illusion of support for your duplicity and silence equates to the patriarchy being one hell of a drug. She said, for the record, Tahiry never laid a hand on me because they had a fight and whatnot. So we both threw drinks, which is something we agreed to do on a call a few nights before filming, because that's showbiz. Where it went left is Joe. So this is where she then alleges that Joe also allegedly abused her. She says Joe is choking. Sorry, it went left. Where it went left is Joe choking and dragging me by my neck from the back to the front of his house, leaving his fingerprints on my neck for days and my toenail ripped off from being dragged. That's when tables officially turned. Me and Tahiry never really had beef. Circumstances changed trajectories. And then someone commented and said, so why nobody called the police? Why is everyone trying to save a relationship? But everyone always trying to save a relationship. And then Raqi responded and said, why the F do y'all keep saying that dumb shit? Go research the local police departments. Them boys were called plenty of times. Since then, the F did y'all start believing in the system? So essentially she's basically saying that she's got police reports for the times that Joe allegedly, abused her. Joe has currently got a girlfriend though, and then she's chimed in, but she's let people know that, hey, I'm not involved. Because people are tagging her and whatnot, you know how people go on the internet. And she said, I see y'all making shit up in the comments yet again. Stop tagging me. That man, here's my thing before I finish this, right? I feel like if he hasn't abused her, that's good. That's positive. But you know sometimes when people try to like overcompensate for someone's character, but then in your overcompensation, you tell a lie. Hear this. That man barely even raises his voice during arguments. The same man we watch on the podcast. Be for real. But anyways.
But she's got a nice version of Joe though.
This is the thing. Fair. That is fair. That's very true. She said, never hit me or raise a hand to me in 5 years. I don't know shit about that. Which is fair. Because I like when women are like, do you know what? I haven't experienced that love and light to anyone who has. What I hate is when they're like, oh, he's never done it to me. So he's never done it before. What's Lil Wayne's baby mom called? Toya. She did that when K. Michelle said that Memphis was abusive to her. And Rashida was out here trying to be Shelly Low and whatnot, talking about that's a lie. And then Toya came out and was like, no, he's very loving. He's never hit anybody. She's lying. Until guess what? He then hit her. All of a sudden now, she's a domestic violence advocate. Which, of course, you can be at any point. Yeah, that's not the point I'm making here. But don't discredit another woman because you haven't experienced something. It's not for you to discredit someone else's experiences. People experience different versions of people, period. Do you get what I mean? But anyways, that's the kind of day Joe Budden is having. Obviously, I hope he addresses it in his next podcast. It's funny though, who's the one I don't like again, Brent? The one I said annoys me? Ish was like how, obviously, over the years, this is why they're talking about the Diddy stuff. He was talking about over the years there's been accusations about Joe. He doesn't believe them to be real because Joe is telling him it's not real. But he was like, obviously, if something comes out and essentially there's receipts and there's this and there's that, whatever, I'm gonna challenge him on that. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking to see what the next episode is like. Because
there's no receipts yet.
Yeah,
there's no receipts, but if Sister said there's police reports, she can work that up.
Well, she better get them.
She's gonna have to get them. Well, she's not gonna have to, but you know.
And this is what the problem is, because people muddy the waters and women weaponize this kind of stuff all the time and take out their vendettas against people and do this kind of stuff all the time.
Yeah, but I feel like two exes coming out about you though.
It could be look.
Two exes coming out about you, and we've seen how Joe Budden is on Love and Hip Hop. Like basically, even with Sin, when Sin gave birth, he was very, very. To be fair, he was very Joe, but she was dealing with like postpartum depression. Did I get that right? Yeah. When I say partum, I always think mortem. That's obviously something different. But she was dealing with like postpartum depression, and he wasn't understanding. Like he was very like, just very cold, and not understanding and all that kind of stuff. So I'm
if you
not
know
going
Joe Budden's
to
journey,
yeah.
You know that earlier on and probably around all those times, that's probably when he was still on the drugs and things.
Yeah.
So anybody that's on drugs is potentially capable of anything. So I'm not going to swear for anyone.
Yeah.
These
Fair.
women definitely need receipts though, like. Because it's easy to like say things like without the risk of sounding like Kevin or anything.
Yeah.
Like, you get what I'm saying? But I tell people all the
him.
time, man is dog and gal is wicked. Like, and this is just fact. This is truth. So receipts are necessary in these kind of situations. I feel
like the difficult thing though when it comes to like conversations about abuse is how many people have receipts? How do you get receipts for someone abusing you?
Well, even the police records.
Because look at the receipts that we have from Cassie's situation was the CCTV from the hotel. She herself, like the only thing that I feel like the things that she said she had are like when he would force her to have sex with people and all that kind of stuff. But even then, like she would delete it. He would say he deleted it and then he would keep it. So how do you it's difficult to get receipts from abuse. Even when, what's that guy, Octavian, wasn't it? When he, was Octavian one of them football players? And the girl actually had receipts and whatnot. And people were like, yeah, but we didn't see what happened 5 minutes before. So
Yeah, but all
it's
years later, I
definitely
swear
not
the other
enough.
day that came out, declared in the fact that come out that she was lying or something like that. They went out like this year. I see some reports on that Octavian thing that he was cleared of it or something
I
like
don't
that.
think so. No, that wasn't it.
Listen. We're not defending Joe Budden on this podcast.
Definitely
Did you see Esther Baxter's video?
Oh, no.
Oh, you guys are back. Why did I say back?
Okay, wait. Tell us in a minute. Sorry, the behind, you mean?
Yeah,
the
behind.
caller. And then we tell us.
Good
Have you
morning,
watched it?
Christy. Yeah, I have. But I watched it when she originally had an interview back there.
Okay,
And now
okay.
they've asked her to speak on this to kind of, quote unquote, pile on.
Yeah.
Or add her name to the rest of the exes that are coming out. And then she released a video saying, look, you're not going to try to get me to disturb my peace now. All you all need to do is to go back to the interview when I dropped it, when you guys were screaming left, right, and center that you don't want to believe me. And now you're saying we're opening our ears. Go back and watch that.
So in her video back then, she alleged abuse from Joe Budden as well.
120%.
Okay. Y'all keep needing receipts. Morning, BOE.
Morning. So just quickly,
I don't believe in that. I'm so sorry, Christy. I don't believe in the whole receipts thing with abuse. I don't know how, if someone's battering me, I'm supposed to get my camera out to get receipts for you. I don't know how, and I'm sorry, but hella X is coming out, and then you're telling me you need receipt. I don't know what that means.
It's because you
I
can't...
don't know what that means.
Because you can't tie everybody with the same brush.
But babes, the statistics of people that lie compared to people of when it's true is so, like, the margin is so far.
If there wasn't examples of people lying and weaponizing these things, then no, it wouldn't be necessary.
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you. There's barely any examples of people lying and weaponizing it. The number of people that weaponize and lie about it compared to people that actually is facts, this is what we're dealing with. But somehow people hold on to the 1%. And all of a sudden now everyone believes in the justice system. The same justice system you don't trust the police for. All of a sudden now you want victims to be going to the police. The same police that even abuse them when they get there.
Well, I don't know, because I treat people how I like to be treated myself, and I know what kind of light I walk in, and I know how I live my life, and I know what I do in it. So in my mind, I don't think I'm ever gonna get into these problems. But God forbid someone does wake up on the wrong side of the bed one day and try and say all types of things about me, and then this is how you start talking about me just because they're saying it. What the fuck, man?
I think I hear what you're saying. However, I think it's very dismissive of what the reality of abuse is. That's what I think.
I beg you, let this Joe Budden thing play out before you...
Bro,
do
this is what...
I'm not defend. I didn't defend him. I just said anybody that's talking and saying anything, I want receipts. I don't even know who Esther Baxter is.
Talking about this particular thing.
I don't know who Esther Baxter is, but if there's reports and
you
videos,
don't know who Esther Baxter is?
Nah. But if there's stuff out there, then I'll accept it. I'm just saying, whoever's doing anything, I just want.
Do you know what's mad as well?
I think that's.
You see the way you see the way that there's always been stories about Diddy and people didn't believe it. See the way there's always been stories about R. Kelly and people didn't believe it. There's been stories about Joe Budden as well. People didn't believe it. Every time people are always waiting for receipts, where do you think the stories are coming from? Where do you think the stories are coming from?
People
I've been hearing stuff about Joe Budden for years.
People choose to be obtuse and not believe things. But
because when Diddy's video came out, even the Cassie video we saw the other day, we even run in the towel and whatnot. People are still like, yeah, but we didn't see what happened. What did she do to him before? This is what, when you start asking for receipts.
People, that's psychopaths.
No, it's not psychopaths. It's not psychopaths. It's not psychopaths.
No one normal watched that video and said that.
But do you know what it is though? From the way I see it though, I feel like no one normal would look at the statistics of people that lie, and then because of the tiniest statistics of people that lie, then have to question every single person that comes out. The number of people that tell the truth, the statistics is literally showing this happens more than it doesn't. But you want receipts every time. How are you being abused, and how do you get receipts for that? Because when you're getting abused, the first thing you're gonna think about is, oh my gosh, let me try and get some kind of receipts. It's wild. And even when there is receipts, like the Diddy situation, and do you know this thing, even with Cassie talked about all these things. She talked about having receipts, all that stuff in the lawsuit. People didn't read it. Then this is coming and everyone's acting shocked as if she didn't say that before. Anyway, morning, Christy.
Morning. Just quickly, I'm not a Joe Budden defender. However, I feel like these allegations and stuff have been around for Joe for time, and I don't even believe that is a thing where people didn't believe them or believe they just didn't care enough. Personally, he's not Joe Budden has lived many lives in this industry. He's lived many lives, so the information has been out there, but I don't think they care. Like he's not a Diddy, So
Yeah.
he's not at that level. But, putting that aside, just to be correct, what's her name? Rocky or Raqi or whatever how she pronounces her name. She's not his ex. They were actually good friends.
Oh, is it?
So they would just they would that's never her, that was never his ex. They were actually just good friends because I remember back in them days I was a reality TV junkie. I remember all of this. I was a reality TV junkie, but I remember that time she's said this, but her and Tahiry have had beef.
Yeah.
So it's a bit funny to me or ironic to me that now she's coming out now to say this.
Was it
when
TV beef
they've had beef. No, but even after the alleged TV beef, yes, there's storylines and stuff, but even after that, even after the fact, she went on to manage Sin Santana when Sin was with Joe.
Oh,
so if you really have this, if you really have this whole contention with him and you have this feeling of him, why would you go and manage his
girl,
his girl and significant other at the time? Like that don't even make no sense to me. And also, sorry to say, but her hands aren't clean either because she is also one of those people who portray herself as let's be clear, I don't know what she does for a living, but what she's made her living off of, people have always said she's always around these high profile men. I.e. she was with running behind Mayweather for a very long time. And when Mayweather had allegations, I don't remember her piping up because Mayweather's had domestic violence allegations. So I just think there are certain things with these women where I think 100% they are toxic. And I feel like it's not so cut and dry. And I don't like, again, I'm not defending him. I'm just saying please don't come and make it seem like you're some high and mighty when you backed someone like Floyd Mayweather. That don't make no sense to me. You've been in his camp. You said it blatantly. So if you now have an issue now with Joe, but you don't have an issue with Mayweather, I need to question you. And sorry, the same with Tahiry. Tahiri's been a very toxic person. Her personality has been toxic. No offense, but on the actual show, her and Joe rushed consequence. Babe, you wanted to fight consequence. So you wanted to fight a man. And I'm not saying that what Joe that hasn't happened to her. What she's saying.
Yeah. But
let's be clear. You have a history of also being abusive. You are not like you don't. She's even been on marriage boot camp and been abusive, verbally abusive and physically abusive to the alleged partner. I don't even think they were even real. I feel like they were again doing it for money. But again, things turned left. But so I don't think. There's certain things is like, okay, you stand up for one thing, but you're also doing like, we saw you physically, you literally put your licks in when Consequence and Joe were fighting. If you're so against domestic violence, I don't see why you're jumping in. You would leave your man to do that as a woman. I'm just saying,
but you know what it is though, Christy? I hear you, I get what you're saying, but I think the way I always see it is that if someone is in a domestic violence relationship and they don't know how to leave that, I don't know how they would have the state of mind to not do crazy things. That makes sense. I'm not excusing any like her abuse, anything like that, because again, men also deal with domestic violence at the hands of women. So I'm not excusing that at all. But if it was a case where that was during their domestic violence situation, then.
But
yeah,
framing it like a domestic violence relationship is unfair if it's a toxic relationship.
I can only go by what people are saying though.
Yeah, I know, I hear that. I've seen examples of people that are in toxic relationships. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, and obviously, like people talk about stuff like holding people accountable and friends accountable.
Yeah,
and all that.
absolutely.
Like, I'm not gonna sit down with a man that's just abusing his gal and whatnot, and that's his story. That's what he loves doing. And the rest of the day, I can't function with a man like that.
Yeah.
But I've seen people that are in toxic relationships. These people. It's like they buzz off this stuff. They fight each other.
Absolutely,
I've seen her take weapons and hit him, double her fist and punch him in his mouth and do all kinds of crazy things.
Yeah.
When them two are fighting each other, I'm not getting involved in their business.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? So then if that's the kind of relationship that you don't want to have and then turn around and after the fact and then start
Say
portraying
TV.
yourself as you're abused and it's domestic abuse and rah. That's not fair. That's not right, innit? And I don't know these people. I don't know what tricks you got. I don't watch these shows and all that. But I'm just saying it's easy to just come and use like proper crazy language and weaponize these experiences when it might not be the case. So if she is that type of like, that's what I'm trying to say. It's not like to say yes, you always need proof and rare, and you shouldn't just like you're
I dismiss it kind of thing.
dismissing it. No, but like with the Diddy thing, even with the R. Kelly thing, like bare people believed it. Obviously, people didn't act on it, but people knew that there was trouble in their lives. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And like I said, even with Joe, I don't know what he keeps up with in his spare time, but he's admitted to being heavy on drugs and restlessness and depression and all these kind of things. So there could be times when he's been in a dark place and things have happened. I'm not prepared to defend him or to speak for him or anything, but context and stuff in situations is important. And before you chat shit in the comments, Kevin, don't think, because you was talking about that video that we've all seen, and I don't think they're comparable.
We're not on the same side.
I don't think it's comparable at all.
Yeah.
After seeing that video, I don't know how you had the stance you had, but in this situation, we just need more information in it. Like.
Yeah, I do hope he addresses it. I feel like if it was a case of toxic relationship, I do agree with that. If it's a toxic relationship, I've seen what those can look like, and they're literally beating each other up. That's a fight. Like I don't see that as
the funny.
And I hope it's not insensitive, but I don't see that as domestic violence because it's not a power play, and like one person's not exactly the victim. Like you're both victims, and you're both perpetrators. You don't just fight it out. So that's a toxic relationship. So if that's what that was, then absolutely. But I just think it's just interesting. Like it's just there's been things in the same way we've heard about Diddy and all these other people about Joe over the years that I'm just not going to quickly dismiss it and be like, oh, maybe there's this or maybe there's that. I don't know, man.
But there's rumours with Tahiry though. Joe has addressed this every time this has come up. This is not the first time it's come up. And he's addressed it on his pod numerous other times. If you go back, he's addressed it loads of times. So I think this will be like the umpteenth time he would be addressing it, unfortunately. Yeah, like like in terms of their relationship, how they would fight each other, all this kind of stuff. He's addressed it, and he's addressed it. And now I don't know why he's coming up to say. I don't know why he's saying, "Oh, she's lying" or whatever. Because you've said that she fights men. Like you've she jumped in on beef when you've had with men. You've said this. So I don't know why. Like, but I feel like it's very toxic. And my thing is, again, for context, after they left Love and Hip Hop, obviously he came back with Sin.
Yes.
Okay, they brought Tahiry back as well, and she came on as well. So I don't like. So if this is the man that you are doing this with, why do you insist on being a storyline in his story? Because they also Mona brought you back. You didn't say no. You came back to be a part of the storyline and try to be like, oh, like I'm all that stuff happened a long time ago, blah blah blah, all this kind of stuff. Like I come in peace. Everything you wanted to be in her, you was like, oh, I come in peace. Yeah. So to me, it's just a bit like, it's very muddy waters, and I don't like that. I don't like when you're doing the muddy waters, especially because it does detract from a case like Cassie, and I don't like that. That's what I don't like.
Yeah, I don't like that. What always annoys me is just, I just feel like sometimes we just need to stay on course with these things. But thanks, girl.
Yeah, but I think he was damned if he did or damned if he didn't. To be honest, address it.
Yeah, but I feel like
he didn't say anything about Diddy.
But I feel like if as someone who is previously admitted, sorry, Christy, what were you saying?
No, go on.
I was gonna say, as someone who's previously admitted like his history, he went a bit too in, and I just think that at the end of the day, I feel like there's a way he could have moved without, like he was moving very, 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 very righteous. Like there's nothing in my past. Whether you on drugs or not, that's not an excuse. Because even someone said about how I think someone brought up was it them? I think it was them. Someone brought up like Diddy's problems and blah blah, and he was like, that's not an excuse. Like he was like, I don't want to hear about mental health, I don't want to hear about therapy, I don't want to hear about all these things. So for someone who was on drugs and allegedly and whatnot, and maybe that was why you went a dark place doing whatever you were doing, fighting girls and whatnot, you were just really, really going in like there's no skeletons that are still jiggling a little bit in your cupboard. But anyway, all the best to all parties involved. Thanks, girl.
As you said, thanks. All right, bye.
Lovely. And then lastly, sorry, I actually skipped, but it was still about Diddy anyway. But Chaka Khan's daughter was her name's Indira. She was in Diddy's comments. You know when he posted that stupid apology video? She was in there and she said, I'm glad this is happening to you. So I like when people just say who they are. She's made it clear, I'm glad you're having a bad day. She said, I'm glad this is happening to you. You got in my mother's face and publicly disrespected her, yelling and screaming like a lunatic. When my little brother tried to get you out of my mother's face, your security jumped my 19-year-old brother. These may be your dark days, but I'm singing and dancing, watching your demise. And she at her mum and said, Chaka Khan, isn't it great, mum? Hella dancing emojis and smiley emojis. Yeah, man, man's just got history and he's really just having the day he deserves. But yeah, I'll see what it is that Joe Budden says. I do hope he addresses it. Yeah, I do hope he addresses it. But then I feel like he's, like Chrissy said, damn if he does, damn if I don't. Anyway, we've got an interview. Let's lighten the mood. We've got an interview, so let's get into our interview, please.
Let me just move the trigger on it.
Thank you very much. All right, we have a really cool guest today. We're talking about money, and we know people love money. And actually, your name is really, really cool because I guess before Mr. Money with the vibes right now, there was Mr. MoneyJar. Good morning.
Morning. Thanks for having me.
How are you?
Good.
Good. Love it.
Thanks for coming.
Oh,
man.
1 second. Let me just start your camera. No, wrong way. But nothing is stuck. Oh, that's fine. Is it good?
Oh,
Yeah, you do just. I'm gonna break it, and then that'll be that.
Last time we had a money person on, they had certain political allegiances.
With who?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair
I
enough.
don't think I can be political anymore
Why? What happened?
because I went to Downing Street on Tuesday, and when I was there, it made me realise that my job is probably similar to an independent third party that reports into the public and the government rather than someone who takes sides.
Oh, okay.
So, like, being political publicly is probably no longer part of my job.
Oh,
Yeah.
fair. But please let people know who you are and what you do, and then we'll get into.
Sure thing. My name's Timmy Merriman Johnson. I have, for the past 4 years, been running a financial education company called Mr. MoneyJar, and I talk about personal finance, investing, getting on the property ladder. And I do it online, but I also give talks and stuff as well. And more recently, I'm working directly with the government on stuff as well.
Are you able to tell us what you work with the government on? We can talk about that a bit later, but
Comms mainly. So this week, the Treasury wanted to put out some data around inflation, and me and some other creators went to meet the Chancellor and put that messaging out.
Could you mind us smiling?
Like Rick Ross. All right, lovely. So we have a game that we play with our guests.
Oh gosh.
That's all right. You'll be all right. Basically, it's a game we play with our guests. We do have a leaderboard. We do have a scoreboard. And some of them are general knowledge questions. And some of them are like this or that.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like white or black, that kind of situation.
Sure.
You have, is it a minute? It's a minute, isn't it? You have 1 minute. The more questions you answer, of course, the more points you get. And yeah, if you don't know an answer, you're happy to pass if you want to just move on to the next one.
Cool.
You ready? Ready to go?
Sure.
Okay, you guys ready to go? Mm-hmm. Brenda, you ready to go?
I am ready. Remember, you have 1 minute, sir.
All right,
So much
pressure.
Yeah.
He has never told a guest that, ever. That's worse. Wonderful. All right, we're starting with you?
Yeah.
All right. You ready?
Yep.
All right.
3,
Brent?
2, 1.
Time or money?
Time.
Music groups Mashtown and Rough Squad hail from what part of London?
Pass.
Kyrie Irving plays for what NBA team?
Pass.
Rishi or Starmer?
Pass.
Finish this sentence. The Egyptians were...
Black.
Oh, sorry. Basic taxpayers are taxed at what rate?
20%.
Capitalism or socialism?
Capitalism.
The president of what country died in a helicopter crash recently?
Repeat, please.
The president of what country died in a helicopter crash recently?
Pass.
Jamal Edwards, RIP, founded what music platform?
SBTV.
Black love or black wealth?
Oh, Black Love.
Okay. Name one left-wing news outlet.
The Guardian.
Africa is the largest continent, true or false?
True.
Business or charity?
Business.
1 × 1 = 2 according to who?
Big Shaq.
Love that.
You know what?
Oh, I think he won.
He said it could only be him.
You can only Big Shaq, quick maths.
There's still time.
I did not think that. We have to give him 2 questions because we would spend time laughing.
Yeah.
Von Geffing is the first black prime minister
Wales.
of what European? Okay, cool.
And CEO or owner?
No.
Because you gave a really good answer, just one more for the road. Is it Negril? Is a famous beach in what country?
Pass.
Oh, never mind, I didn't ask you that. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You did bad.
Yeah,
actually.
you did right, man.
Yeah, you did. You actually did.
All right, so I forgot to switch the camera to Iman's face when he said capitalism. So if you can just give us your face retort when he said that. Just do it again.
Capitalism. Say capitalism again. I see what you said.
Say it 3 times. Say it 3 times.
What was it? So socialism or capitalism? Capitalism or socialism?
Capitalism.
So silly. But all right, can you let us know how you started? What made you start your company? What was the motivation behind that?
Yeah, so my first job out of uni was at a financial PR company. So it was my job to go on government sources and do consumer surveys and find stats to then put into press releases on behalf of clients. So a lot of people don't realize, but when you read stuff in the newspaper, a lot of it isn't organically written. It's actually it's the result of a research project that's been done by a company that's trying to almost like tell you something. So if you see like 50% of people think this, or new research has shown that, the company that has commissioned that research has not normally paid for that. So I worked on that side of things. I spent some time in influencer marketing, and I've also spent some time as a finance manager. Then in 2018, I had a really strong desire to start my own company, started posting about money online, and people started to follow. And then brands started offering to pay, and then TV stations started to get in touch to have me appear, and now here I am.
What do you remember what your first brand work was?
Yeah, it was actually it was Nottingham Building Society. It was for the Lifetime ISA.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Love that.
So you do like your online content creating full time?
Yeah, since November 2020.
Okay, cool.
That's really good. Okay. What did you study at uni?
Law, like a good Nigerian boy.
As a love it. Love that.
Your disposition is very interesting to me. What type of movies or TV shows do you find like funny? What makes you laugh?
I like Eddie Murphy.
Okay.
Delirious.
Do you laugh like heartily?
Sometimes, but I more find things funny rather than laugh. And I would say my favorite film is probably The Matrix, and my favorite TV show at the moment is Black Mirror. It's really interesting.
Is Black Mirror the one that predicts all the foolishness that's happening in the world?
Pretty much.
I need to get into that.
I don't watch Black Mirror because it don't continue. I don't like things that don't continue.
Oh, like every episode is a new story.
I ain't got time to know these different characters and these different people. I'm trying to connect to somebody, and I can't do that in 30 minutes or 40 minutes, however long it is. If there was a good story or a good episode that was going on, I want it to develop. Do you know what I mean? So when I press episode 2 now and it's all changed, you've lost me already. I can't, like, this is crazy.
Some of the concepts are interesting though.
Yeah, but then some of them are so interesting that I want them to expand on them, and I want it to. Do you get what I mean? So it's like, yeah, you lost me there. That's why I don't really watch Black Mirror, but I've seen some good ones though.
So yeah, I want to watch it. It's on my list. I just can't really get into
Season
it.
5 now, something, innit?
I ain't got a clue.
Is it that much?
But is it like 8 episodes per season though? I can do that. If it's like 20 something, let me see.
Yeah, it's not that much. It's like,
Okay, okay.
How long have we got for the interview, by the way?
How
long have you got? It
Yeah.
sounds like a more important question.
Yeah, half an hour.
Okay, we can do that.
Okay.
Yeah. We can do that.
Get it done.
I was going to ask, with your company and just with money and stuff, did you have a target audience for creating your page and like the money advice and stuff? Did you have a target audience in mind?
I'll be honest, in the beginning, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just posting to socials because I'm genuinely interested in money and how it works.
Okay.
And I'd had a background in my job as well. So I started off talking about money in quite a general way and to a general audience. And I made my brand reflect that. increasingly, though, the more I learn about the financial system and its origins, I think it's very important to speak to and on behalf of the Black community because, I think a lot of education is needed, and I think there's a lot of sharing to be done.
So for someone that's financially illiterate, so to speak, what would you say the most important thing to know about money is?
I don't think there are as many financially illiterate people as we think. When I speak to people, there isn't normally an understanding gap. There's just a knowledge gap.
Okay.
And so my job has been giving people the information that they need so that the understanding can kick in. So I did a post, my first post to go viral was me comparing the income tax system to Nando's peri-peri scale. And you had like lemon and herb taxpayers and mild taxpayers, just using analogies to get ideas into to get into people's minds. But you ask where people should start.
Yeah.
I think everything starts with visibility. I remember, being in my 20s, being too scared to check my bank account and not really thinking about money and stuff. And so I think it's super basic, but starting with a budgeting habit and just getting a sense of how much money you've got going out and coming in, either on a weekly or a monthly basis, is very important because based off that, you can then start to make decisions like paying off your debt, saving, building wealth, buying a property and so on. But if you're just going in blind, or if you have fear or shame or anxiety around checking your finances, then you're not going to be able to do anything.
Question. You mentioned that you care about the growth and prosperity of the Black community, right?
Yep.
Why capitalism?
Because
Get it together.
because capitalism is a system which I believe to be neutral, but I think its implementation and the assumptions from the very start of the creation of that system have been founded on inequality. And for example, the stock market that we all use to invest in, that our pensions are, pension money is all going into, the very first stock market company, for example, was the Dutch East India Company, which was a slave trading company. And when you look at books like The Wealth of Nations, which was written by Adam Smith, the implicit assumption in his book was that anyone who wasn't European was a quote-unquote savage. And I don't think it's any coincidence that when you fast forward to today, you see certain groups on the sharper end of the financial system. But at the same time, capitalism has delivered many things to us, the phones that we have in our pockets, the ability to travel to different countries and so on. So I'm much more in the camp of improving and iterating upon something rather than tearing it down.
Why do you think that capitalism and economic growth for Black people are seen as oxymorons?
Are they?
Somebody in the chat just said that.
Oh, right. I think it speaks to what I just said. When you're coming up in a system which has, to be frank, racist origins, and you're on the sharper end of it, yes, it's natural for people to see the development of that system and the development of the community that's being discriminated against by that system as oxymorons. But I think that with the work that not only me, but many other creators and financial advisors and educators in the community are doing, is we're giving people the information and tools that they need to be able to participate in the system.
So is the mindset of these people that because of, like what you're saying, like the first company on the stock exchange and all this stuff and the whole capitalism and money and stuff like that, when they wrote it for Europeans and for white people, and it wasn't for anybody else to benefit from it. Yeah. So now in this day and age, they're saying that people shouldn't buy into that system. Yeah. But it's not the same day and age. So the same properties and the same principles of the system are open to everybody now. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's not, the racism's not like it was, the segregation's not like it was. People from different cultures and different colours are allowed to do things that they wasn't then. So even though it wasn't made for us, we're allowed to use it now, innit? Yep. So then why turn against the system then, if that's the case?
Answer that question, Emmanuel.
Well, I don't think like those people.
No, devil's advocate, please.
I think maybe they see it as, well, this is, like you said, it has the racist origins, right? and inherently it's going to be something that will always keep us back. If it's not made for us, if it wasn't created with us in mind, can we really use it for our own liberation? You know what I'm saying? I think that's the understanding, but I just don't see it that way. As much as capitalism did come up, like you said, based on the principles of Adam Smith and everything, right? I don't think it was necessarily something that was in mind to keep a particular group down. You know what I'm saying? I think it was more so, let's look at the principles of this. You know what I'm saying? Like self-interest is the number one thing that's going to help. Specialization trade is is another thing that's going to help, rather than it being like, okay, let's keep all the non-whites down. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, how are we able to use these principles to actually better the world?
Is that why you can see yourself as a Tory? No, I'm being genuine, because even like I'll make jokes and say things like that, but it's like, obviously I understand these things weren't put in place to benefit us and to help us, and they want to keep people down on that. But I'm saying, if you have ambitions to elevate in life, especially if you're capable of it and you're going to do it, and you're going to make yourself middle class or upper class or a businessman, entrepreneur and all that, and the Tories look after those type of people.
Yeah.
If that's what you want for yourself and if that's what you're going to do, why wouldn't you lean towards that then? Because the tax breaks, all these things, they're going to benefit you.
Yeah. And I mean, there's other things that come with being a Tory, innit? You know what I'm saying? Just like there's other things that come with being a Labour supporter and things of that nature. And I don't subscribe to any of those things. You know what I'm saying? I'm first and foremost black. Number two, pro-black. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, okay, how can we use these principles to actually better us? You know what I'm saying? That's always my you know what I'm saying, my perspective.
I mean, there are some things, you know, that we do back home and that our parents and grandparents would do, like partners and susus and stuff, which are not assumed to be part of like Western culture. So maybe that's one way in which the system could be improved upon, just taking some of the stuff that we would have done and incorporating it in. But it's an interesting discussion for sure.
What would you say to somebody though that that, for example, is living they're middle class, maybe they earn about 30k a year, whatever it may be, and they're saying to you, okay, cool, you're talking about black wealth, you're talking about how we can get onto the property ladder and things of that nature, but where do I start, right? If, for example, I have a job and it's only earning me this, like, you're just speaking from a position of privilege. How can I better myself? The system's there to keep us down. What would you say to somebody like that?
Yeah, so to the average person, because the average salary in the UK is about 27 grand, it is about increasing your income. And the simplest way to increase your income is to move job. Like, the system doesn't reward loyalty. You can, you know, it's possible for you to get a pay rise in the job that you're in, but by moving job or by moving to an industry in which there is more money, then you can be paid more. And then it's about utilizing a skill to increase your income as well. This is what I did. I mean, the most I've ever been paid in my life is about 30 grand. And I make, you know, much more than that as a content creator now. And that's because I took 6 to 12 months to teach myself all the skills I'm using now as a content creator, like filming, writing, editing, social media, like marketing, liaising with clients, networking. And if you're willing to take that time to build on yourself, then you can increase your income. I'm not claiming that it's easy though. It does take a lot of time and investment.
Obviously, like, when it comes to building, you know, black wealth and things of that nature, we obviously need to, because I feel as though everyone has the same gripe against the curriculum, that we don't teach the children about financial literacy. Like, where can a parent start? So people like our age, where can we start in terms of, like, just educating our kids to know better?
When it comes to children, just to be clear, I don't have any kids, but I do have a brother who has just turned 18. So when I was 16, he was born. And when it comes to children, you have to start very, very early. From the age 3, the research shows that children can conceptualize what money is. They can recognize different coins and notes, their shapes. And your adult financial habits are set at age 7.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I can actually remember my brother being 5 and one Christmas going that he wanted Call of Duty. And I was like, how do you know what that is? And obviously it's because he's being advertised to on TV and on YouTube and stuff. So start early, start with conversations, involve them in day-to-day decisions that you're making around money. And that could be something as simple as writing a shopping list with them or encouraging them to save coins into a jar. That's what I did when I was a kid. That's where the name comes from. Use real money. Cashlessness is really useful for adults, but children learn primarily from physical money. And as we move away from physical cash, that's something that we need to keep a hold of, because the next generation is just being advertised to all the time. And the older children get, once they get into their teenage ages, that's where you start to give them responsibility over money. So pocket money, first mobile phone, that sort of thing. But with kids, it's important to start early.
With your content, do you consider kind of the climate that we're in as a country? So, for example, with the cost of living, people losing their jobs, like even during COVID and stuff, how do you tailor your content to kind of be sensitive to people's realities, if that's something you do consider?
Yeah, my job fundamentally is to be like the weatherman. So I see it as my job to give people the information they need accurately, so that they can then make decisions for themselves, and so they can understand what's happening to them. I think that if you're in a difficult situation or you're experiencing financial pain, that's bad enough. But if you don't even know why what's happening is happening, that's even worse. So I will report on the news cycle. So, for example, inflation, new figures came out this week, dropped to 2.3. That's, it's signaling kind of a return to normality, because inflation was at 11% in October 2022. I found that just by sharing information with people, that speaks directly to them, and I don't really have to bias it or kind of give my personal take a lot of the time.
When you relay this information, so back in October when it was 11%, you were telling the people that it's 11%.
Yes.
Right? What would you say to somebody that says, okay, cool, it's 11%, I understand what this means, but how do I further protect myself if this was to go up to 15%? Because remember, there were projections about it potentially going up to 15 to even 17%. Like, how can somebody practically protect themselves?
What I want to say to everyone is that there are obviously things that you can do and things that people have been doing to protect themselves against the price rises, buying own brand stuff as opposed to branded stuff, budgeting, using loyalty points and stuff. But this is a systemic issue that we're talking about. And I think it's a bit unfair to say to individuals that they can protect themselves or do something about it, because to be honest, what's happened is that in the pandemic, we introduced a lot of money into the financial system to put people through things like furlough. We had the war in Ukraine, which put a massive squeeze on energy prices. And we also left the European Union, which has been estimated to cost the UK economy £140 billion. So it doesn't matter how much own brand toothpaste you buy. I don't think that's what elected governments are for. And this is why I'd say to everyone, a general election was called yesterday. It's going to be on the 4th of July. If you aren't registered to vote, make sure you register to vote on gov.uk. Make sure that you have valid photo ID, as this will be the first election in which you need to produce valid photo ID, and that can be a passport, driver's license, or various forms of bus passes, and participate. If you don't participate in the election, then you can't complain for the next 5 years.
We've got a question from Chijake. He says, Brent, can you ask if the self-taught skills were learnt and paid for with official certificate, or just videos and books? So it's when you said, do you remember that part? Yeah.
So definitely learn about money from my job, but I read a lot of books. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Richest Man in Babylon. A lot of the books when I first got started were from the US. I also watched a lot of Warren Buffett's interviews with Becky Quick on CNBC. Is a really good source of knowledge when it comes to things like investing. But But now you've got plenty of books from people in the UK. You've got How to Save It by Bola Soul. You've got Get Your Money Right by Emmanuel Lesukwo, Black Girl Finance. There's loads of different books, podcasts. I think the most important thing is just find the way that you learn best and dedicate some time to learning.
How long did it take for you to become like a financial advisor? Since you obviously studied law and then
Sure, it took a year from me doing my first piece of coursework, written assignment at the end of 2022 to passing last year in November. But there was a lot of thank you. There was a lot of moving stuff around and a couple retakes in there as well because it's difficult to combine it with running the business.
Couple questions. One, are you single? Again, from the chat.
You can't say focus on serious things. You know?
No, we have a smile.
I'm newly in a relationship.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, we love that. Beautiful.
Secondly, obviously the election is going to be 4th of July, right?
Yes.
What are the things that we need to think about, be mindful of, when looking to decide on a party, especially given this particular environment that we've been in?
Sure. There's a few things I'll say to that. Firstly, when you vote in a general election, you're not voting for a prime minister. You're voting in one of the 650 constituencies in the UK to elect your MP, who will then get a seat in Parliament. And then the party that has the most seats, the leader of that party will then become the prime minister. And then the party with the second most seats becomes the opposition. So find out what your constituency is, because there are new borders for this general election, and then vote for your MP. That's the first thing. Second thing is to look at the manifestos, look at what's been promised. Even though inflation has returned back to more regular levels, it doesn't actually mean that prices are falling. It just means that they're rising less quickly. Prices are very, very unlikely to go back to where they were before, because they've been rising, at a rate of 11%, then at a rate of 5%, then a rate of 3%, then a rate of 2%. So you cannot out-earn your way out of a cost of living crisis. The only thing you can really do is to grow the economy. The thing that's going to get the UK back to where it needs to get to is economic growth, long-term economic growth. So I would put priority on the parties, and they will know this too, that are prioritizing the growth of the economy, the creation of jobs, the creation of businesses, and anything that increases productivity for people in the country as well.
And presently, without looking to do something that might get you in trouble, which party are you hearing whispers from that is going to achieve that?
Yeah, I mean, I think any sensible party will be prioritizing economic.
Great answer. I love that.
When I spoke with the Chancellor on Tuesday, I asked him if it was now time to grow the economy, and he said it's now time to carefully start. And I imagine all the parties will be saying that.
Yeah, you fixated on your last conversation. He's smiling again.
With regards to generational wealth, right? Black wealth and stuff, yeah. What are the first steps you would say somebody should be taking in order to make that their reality?
Yeah, so I think that generational wealth isn't just money. It's also education, relationships, but most importantly, love. It's very, very possible for you to make a lot of money in your lifetime and to pass it down to your kids, but because they don't have the education, it slips through their fingers within a generation. It's very, very possible for you to give a bunch of money to your kids and or for them to know that they're going to inherit money. And so they're just praying for you to die so they can inherit because you don't love them and they don't love you. So I think that, and Ken and Mary from The Humble Penny talk about this a lot. They've just written a book, Financial Joy. Wealth is holistic. But to answer the question in spirit that is being asked, starting early is very important. And there are kind of a couple ways that you can do that. You have junior ISAs, for example. You can invest up to £9,000 per tax year into a junior ISA, and depending on how much you use of that allowance, by the time they get to 18, you could have something approximating either driving lesser money or a housing deposit, and you can achieve that by putting it into like just a broad-based index fund that grows at about 7% a year. Similarly, you can invest into junior pensions. These are lesser well-known, but you have an allowance of £2,880 for a junior pension. You receive tax relief on that up to the value of £3,600, and that stays with them all the way until the pension age. But you have to remember that with that, the pension age is currently 55, the private pension age, and by the time they get to their 50s, it'll probably be a lot higher.
Okay, we've got a question here from Black Rob. He wants to know, why did you stop doing infographics on your Insta?
That's a really good question.
And follow that up with why black love is so important to you.
I thought it was a money chat, but cool. Why did I stop doing infographics? Because in 2020, the algorithms changed. TikTok took off. Instagram copied them, as they always do, and created reels. And if you weren't doing videos, then your content wasn't going to get seen. But I actually get a lot of requests for the infographics, so maybe I'll bring them back. And why is Black Love important? Black Love created everyone in this room.
Facts.
There you go. Hey.
Great guess.
Well,
Love that.
I can imagine you're a stickler for time, and I've been keeping an eye on it. I have. So before we let you go, we've got some questions that we usually ask all our guests. You get me? So there's a few of them. Nothing too heavy. The first one is, tell us something people are usually surprised to learn about you.
I was born in the States.
Oh.
Like relatively recently British. I was only there for a few months. But.
Okay then, that's cool.
What were you before? Sorry, in between.
So I was American, then I couldn't get a job here. Then I had to do the life in the UK test and answer questions about the Queen and Big Ben and stuff. This one
You passed that first time?
I did, thankfully, yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I was going to meet someone that
That
did
test is hard as people think it is.
Yeah,
It's
that's
foolishness, isn't it?
You have to revise. And
crazy.
it's got loads of questions in it that people who live here just wouldn't know.
I
the
don't
answer to.
know. I don't know. I wouldn't know any of them. I wouldn't pass. It's too late. You're in the passport already, bitch.
Okay, and what was one of the biggest life lessons you can share that could advise people?
Yeah, you just got to invest in yourself. The biggest asset you have is like your health, your ability to use your body and your mind, and your capacity to earn over the course of your life. And I think a lot of the conversation around investing centers around who you can give your money to or where you can put your money. But if you invest in yourself, and as a result increase your income and your skills, then once your money's up, you can then invest that, and that's a really powerful multiplier effect.
All right then. And then our last two questions, we always ask our guests to leave a question. So our previous guest has wanted us to ask you, what is that one thing that you are scared of doing that you know you should do?
Deep.
I would say that I'm already doing it. I'm quite an introverted person.
Wouldn't have guessed that.
I'm a writer and a researcher. So everything you see me doing, that's not those two things. I've had to learn how to do it in the last 4 or 5 years.
That's massive. That's big.
Including speaking on this podcast, speaking on TV, speaking to the government.
That's lit.
I'm going to have to go home and lie in a dark room for about 5 hours after doing this.
Serious?
I hear it.
All right then.
All right, then. We weren't going to talk to you, any more than we have. And then the last thing is, can you leave a question for our next guest that you'd like them to ask? So it could be anything.
If you could meet yourself in 50 years, what would you ask that person?
Okay, cool. Well,
That's a good question.
Yeah, for real.
Before you leave, what's your portfolio saying? What you got?
I invest into a global stock market. I invest every month, both into my stocks and shares ISA and into my personal pension. And my priority is making as much money as I can so I can invest as much as I can.
Yeah, I got something for you, bro.
First of all, you will word
You
that
gotta
properly.
pause that, man.
You will word that properly, first of all.
Oh, sorry. Did it sound like a pause moment?
It's
I
gone
don't-
now.
I don't
It's,
know
now
by
you're
them
here now.
type of
We're
rules.
here. We are here now. We're mature, to be fair.
Your people
Mature.
are ridiculous. Thank you very much for coming in. You're
Yes,
fantastic.
please.
Man,
Thank you for
I
having
hope
me.
that wasn't. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, okay, good.
What was the answer to that question?
Which one?
The one times.
One time
Puzzled
two.
you, yeah?
It could be anything, to be fair.
It could have been.
There's
Well,
options.
answers we would have accepted would have been Terrence Howard, or a child under 5, or a madman. But E-Man ripped those answers because
Yeah,
1 times 1 is 2, man.
yeah.
Or Marks.
Makes
There's
sense.
context that you're missing.
Nothing
Mr.
from nothing
Manager.
means nothing. Yeah,
But I feel like Big Shaq is I didn't say that. I can't remember, that's a perfect answer.
Big Shaq.
Yeah,
Big
yeah,
Shaq
I
was
love
a great
that.
That's a
answer.
perfect
I love
answer.
that.
Look forward to
that.
seeing myself on Twitter later.
You're the best, man. All right, cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you
very
so
much
much,
for coming,
darling.
man.
Thanks for having
Lovely
me.
to meet you.
All right. We would definitely invite him back after the
Yes.
Yes,
election
100%.
and whatnot.
I hope you're down to come back.
Absolutely.
Good. He said absolutely.
I wrote down so much stuff to tell you.
Oh, man.
Oh.
See?
Yeah, we need to
Yes.
redo this then.
Yeah, next time send it to me as opposed to Manuel.
Yeah, next time, arrange your attendance with Brent.
Can you imagine?
We had it for 30 minutes.
It's not my fault.
Whose fault is
was
it?
the trains.
Well,
Didn't the train delay you? Yeah. See?
Don't blame him.
I'm not blaming
You
you.
just
I
said
just
that.
said the train.
Can you imagine? He was, yeah,
We
can
took
you
him on
imagine?
to Budden.
Because
I
you
can't
trust me.
believe
Because you don't want receipts.
I can't believe this.
Anyways, we'll definitely have you back.
Yes.
And like, lovely. Thank you so much.
Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you, darling.
Cheers, man.
Love it. Thank you very much, brother.
All right, let's get into our last headlines for today.
Because they told you can't.
Ask again.
Is that going to be your line? Because they told you you're listening. That's your t-shirt from
No,
now on.
wait. Give the viewers context.
Because that's
Because
crazy.
you said it during the intermission. So tell them what your thought process is.
Well, no, I just asked E-Man if he can divide 1 by 1. Yeah. Why can't he multiply it? And his answer was because they told me I can't. But so who's the madman?
Well, we're gonna
Not
talk about
you.
it tomorrow. All right. So our next headline. This is about Kelly Rowland, man. An expert lip reader has confirmed what Kelly Rowland said.
First of all, F them. I confirmed what Kelly Rowland flipping said yesterday. I confirmed this.
There you go.
So they copy me.
All right.
Hey, let me hear what they've got to say. Because I know they copy me. Go on.
All right. So, yes, the Destiny's Child singer, who's 43 years old, was pictured shouting, apparently, and waving her finger at a number of members of staff on the steps of the iconic venue, right? A lip reader has now confirmed to the Daily Mail what really happened during the ordeal. Jackie Press said that after the security guard appeared to step on her dress, she apologized and Kelly said it's okay. However, the security guard then said something else, causing Kelly to change in mood, and she responded by saying, "Don't talk to me like that."
Yeah.
As the security guard continued to usher her up the stairs, Kelly turned around and exclaimed, "Don't talk to me like that." And she repeated the phrase several times. The male security guard then came down to ask what was being said as the lady was using her hands to move Kelly along. Kelly finally turned around on the top step and added, "You still don't talk to me like that."
First of all, I gave you guys more accurate information. Kelly Rowland says, "You not my mama. Don't talk to me like that."
You threw in a big.
Can you imagine? No, she didn't. Kelly Rowland didn't swear. Actually, well, Kelly Rowland told us information we did not need to know about her, and I could have gone my whole life without knowing that information. I could have gone. But no, she said something about her mama too. Like, you know, my mama don't talk to me like that.
Okay, cool.
So they need to fire that person because clearly they're not doing a great job.
All right, so our next headline as well. President Joe Biden has welcomed Kenyan President William Ruto to the White House for a 3-day state visit as the East African nation prepares to deploy forces to Haiti as part of the UN-led effort to try to calm a spiraling security crisis in the Caribbean country. Some 1,000 Kenyan police officers are set to arrive soon in Haiti, part of a multilateral security support mission that aims to help quell gang violence. And other countries expected to back Kenyan forces as well, including, this is messed up, the US, anyway. The US and Kenya are marking their 60th anniversary of diplomatic relations. White House officials said that the leaders' agenda will include trade and investment, technological innovation, climate and clean energy, health and security, this document's messed up. But yeah, the other countries that were meant to be helping are Bahamas, Barbados, Benin, Chad, and Bangladesh. And the last headline, China has started military drills surrounding the self-governing island of Taiwan. This is according to Chinese state media. The state-run Xinhua news agency said that Eastern Theater Command of the People's Liberation Army started the drills at 7:45 on Thursday in the Taiwan Strait. Didn't say how long the drills would last, but Taiwan's new president, William Lei Ching, took his oath of office on Monday. We spoke about that as well, and called on Beijing to stop its intimidation. China claims that the island is theirs and has not ruled out the use of force to actually achieve its goal of getting it back. So yeah, that's it for our headlines. It's time to pay the bills.
All right, let's get into our reaction.
The physics is upon us.
The age.
Yeah, they're looking forward to tomorrow.
I said the age of physics.
Terence.
Terence is changing the world, man. All the naysayers, E-mans, you know, like the point that you're missing is that everything he's saying, he's proved it. Like he's asking you to sit down and challenge him. Maybe we should call him here because the universities don't have the conversation, so we'll have it. He's saying that I've proved this stuff, so I don't understand what you're trying to say to me.
Who did he prove it to?
He's got 97 patents.
No, but who did he prove what he's saying to?
He's proved it. He's prove it to you if you're allowed the
I
time.
need for Emmanuel to watch
I'm gonna
it
finish
first
it, yeah,
and
exactly.
then talk.
Yeah.
Everything else is just...
Because I may definitely change my mind, you know what I'm saying? So, we'll see.
No, because if you're just sitting down just doing madman stuff and hyperbole and rah, he's saying like, it doesn't matter what you think because the facts are the facts. It doesn't change it. I'm saying I'll challenge anybody to sit down and have the debate with me. Let's have the conversation because I'm telling you, I've proved this stuff. And the reason why they don't want to have the conversation with him because they got no pushback for him. And a lot of the stuff he says, as complex as it is, if you don't lack critical thinking, do you?
Oh, at all, man.
It makes sense, man. I think you'll work it out in the end. I think you'll get there.
What's happening to you every time you cross over into the reaction segment?
He comes alive.
Something's possessed him in the last 2 days.
He's the sharpest then, isn't it?
Can you imagine? That's crazy.
We're going to see tomorrow, though, man. You know, we'll see.
I'm going to go and watch it again just to make sure.
You're gonna make some notes.
Just to
Get your pen and pad out.
just on ready.
That's so funny.
Welcome to the Reaction, people, where I read out the sports headlines. It's not a lot for us to read because obviously there's no sports. But well, there is.
That's so funny.
Some people are shaking their boots. What is it about?
Well, no, still, obviously, there's business end where we're dealing with the cup finals, you know what I'm trying to say? And obviously, we've been lauding Xabi Alonso and his Invincibles all season. I think they went 51 games undefeated, maybe, I believe it was. But the run has come to an end, man, in horrible and embarrassing fashion as well. So the Europa League final was yesterday. Atalanta beat Bayer Leverkusen 3-0. Yeah, Lookman tore him to shreds, scored a dope hat-trick. He might be the first person to score a hat-trick in the Europa League final since it was like UEFA, even in UEFA Cup and all of that kind of stuff, since they stopped playing 2 legs or something, I believe. It's the first time in a long time. It was a good game, but it was mad because Leverkusen have been good. Everyone's been singing Xabi Alonso's prayers. They, like, the proof's in the pudding. It's not for no reason. They got like 4 players in the team that's got over 20 goal contributions. Like, it's actually mad, like, what they've been doing. And they couldn't get a sniff yesterday. Atalanta dominated every aspect of that football match. Like, every minute of it. Like, literally, like, every blade of grass. They couldn't do nothing. Like, they just couldn't do nothing. They couldn't play out. There was no patterns of play. There was a lot of long balls. They didn't see too many opportunities on target. That was just pure dominance. I haven't seen a performance like that in a long time. It was such a one-sided affair. It kind of wasn't really even enjoyable. Like, they just couldn't get a sniff. They just battered them, really and truly. And you know the wickedest thing? It weren't even like to say Leverkusen were playing so terrible. Yeah, it's just that Atalanta were playing so good. The defense, the midfield, just as a team, just as a unit, it was a really good performance. Proper dominating, like from the jump to the dunk, basically. Like, they were cooked. So I think they've still got a chance to not salvage their season because they won the league for the first time in the club's history. That's Leverkusen I'm talking about. They didn't get to go undefeated in all competitions and win the treble, but I think they still get to go and play a German Cup on Saturday, so they can redeem themselves and they do a double, and it's still a successful season. So you got all that going on. But shouts out to Gian Piero Gasparini. You get me? That was his first major trophy in a long career. Do you get what I'm trying to say? That so, and it's only the second trophy in Atalanta's 116-year history. So, yeah, man, serious stuff that happened. And the last headline that we've got to read out is talking about Chelsea step up Enzo Maresca interest as they pursue replacement for Mauricio Pochettino. Chelsea want to speak to Leicester City boss Enzo Maresca as they pursue a replacement for Pochettino. Maresca guided Leicester back to the Premier League at the first time of asking and previously worked for Manchester City as Pep Guardiola's assistant. The leading candidates to replace Pochettino, who departed on Tuesday, are Kieran McKenna, Maresca, Thomas Frank and Sebastian Hoeneß. The new head coach has to fit into the club's structure, play possession-based football, be collegiate and collaborative, be comfortable dealing with the media spotlight, and be ready to go head-to-head with Pep Guardiola and Mikel Arteta. I don't know how that's part of the remit when you say you want someone young that's going to be coaching, because surely you're going to give them time. I don't know why you'd expect them to go against Pep straight away. Arteta, maybe. Okay. It says co-owner Bidad Egbali is in London to oversee the process of appointing a new head coach, through the process led by co-sporting directors Paul Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart. And Taylor versus Catterall 2?
It's going to be a big one, man.
Talk about it.
Big one. You remember when it got announced, or when the tickets went on sale, they were gone like that. Gone. Remember I mentioned it before. But yeah, I believe it was Taylor that sustained like an injury leading up to the fight, and so it got cancelled. But yeah, now it's back, man. And it's going to be this weekend, I believe.
All right, big fight.
Big fight.
Thoughts on Usyk Fury?
Oh, yeah, the better man won. Better man won, man. Usyk.
Was you
Great
surprised?
performance. I wasn't surprised, you know. Because to be fair, I said that Usyk would have been on the show, innit?
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I said I could see Tyson Fury winning, but if I had to put money on it, I'll put it on Usyk. And I said it's because I see him somehow edging it. You know what I'm saying? Because both of these guys are people to me that find a way to win, always. But Usyk, I don't know, there's just an additional thing, you know what I'm saying, that I felt. And also, remember, I also said to you as well, if in the ring, Tyson Fury don't do the eye thing, right, he's losing. He didn't do the eye thing, man. So I just knew he wasn't as... I don't want to say he wasn't as focused, but he wasn't in the right state of mind, I believe.
I don't know. I can't speak to his
Usyk.
mindset or his focus, but he didn't look as good as he has in the past.
Yeah, they're both on a decline though. They're getting a bit older.
But Usyk's still so like crafty and dynamic
100%,
and
100%.
You get me?
100%. It was a sick fight, man. It was a sick fight.
Well-earned victory. Well-earned victory, and yeah, that is the end of our reaction. Let's get into Done Out Ere. This one's going to be short and sweet. I can't believe we've got a guest out of here before. I think all of our guests should be introverts.
Big man.
Honestly.
How did you know?
I just think that should be part of that's what we should be
criteria.
looking for. The criteria, yeah, to come on the show. We should be looking for introverts.
Are you an introvert or not? I'm an extrovert.
He was a really, really good guest. He was one of my favourites, you know.
Oh, shut up.
What?
You're doing too much now.
You're saying when agents contact us on behalf of their clients,
Yeah.
and we ask them, are they introverts?
Is this shy
they
or
say
not?
no. We say,
Yeah, we say send them to no behaviour.
Extrovert? No chance.
Extrovert. Give it a few shots, mate.
it's 2024, baby.
Well, in the theme of the show, short, sweet, quality. Go to number 3, Brent. Let's get these people into the mindset of E-Dot.
E-Dot. Number 3.
Oh,
Is that what you call him now, yeah?
E-Dot.
You're funny. But I get
What,
it.
you man?
I get it. yeah.
No, serious.
Jump.
Leave that the Lord tonight has set you free.
Yes, sir.
Turn around and tell those people. Tell them. I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women. Women. I said women. I'm not gay. I would not date a man. I would not carry a purse. I would not put on makeup. I will love a woman. Do you believe?
I believe him.
Do you know I love when they do the little dancing. Those American. I need to go to an American church. You know when they start hot stepping and crip walking in church and they start bouncing and I love that shit.
Oh man.
He's a damn lie. He's a damn lie. Even people that have lied, have never lied before like that. That's a damn lie. But why did his voice go deep? He said, I'm not gay anymore. I am delivered.
Listen, I don't like men's no more.
Women.
Speaking in tongues.
He's a mug.
Yeah, you know what? That video just sweet me so much, yeah. I just wanted to share it with you, like, you know what I'm trying to say? I find it more funnier. The fact that you put that in the doc is more funny than the video to me. I swear to God.
No, for real though, who's actually done out here? I just scrapped what segment we're in. Who's meant to be done out here?
Because I don't want to know what spirit he was walking in, because I've seen it. I think that's an old video, you know. Like I've seen it. Did it just come straight off, or was you just thinking?
Nah, I just saw it the other day. I just thought, nah, this is too funny, man. But yeah.
I don't like men's no more.
No,
I
who
don't
meant to
even
be
know
done
who's
out
done
here?
it.
I don't even know who's done it.
I think it's just vibes.
Yeah, I think today's just vibes, man. I think I just, like I said, it made me laugh so much. I thought like it was only right I share it with you, like, man. Come on, man. We all like to laugh. You get me? Make us feel young. Make us happy. Yeah, I'm not giving that down air today, but I hope you're enjoying that video.
That's too funny.
Sound
like men's no more.
No, why did he make his voice deep like that?
I'm delivered. Do you know how sassy he said the first line? Like, I don't like women anymore. I'm delivered.
Oh,
big man.
That is absolutely hilarious. Oh, like I said, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did, man.
Sorry, speaking of not liking men's anymore, you know Meek Mill unfollowed Diddy?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Wow. A breakup.
I heard Steph Curry unfollowed him as well.
Yeah, Beppo unfollowed him. Carisha's unfollowed him as well. Yeah, Beppo unfollowed him. He's still following them. He ain't clocked on yet.
Do you see that Desi Banks video?
Is it about the Diddy thing?
Yeah.
About the apology video?
Yeah,
he shouldn't have done that. He should be done out here, actually.
I think so.
Yeah, absolutely. It's someone like, this is a serious thing and you're sitting there. It wasn't even a funny video. Like, it's not everything you
Like,
need
what's
to
he
do.
doing, like reenacting it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the video barely dropped and you're already doing a skit. Like, it's not funny. It's not funny. It's not a funny situation because people are cussing Diddy for not apologizing, like not doing an apology. And then you thought you come be your funny self and then reenact the video. Like, read the room, bro.
I think he was kind of just showing like his way of saying the same thing, which is that
No, you
this
don't
is
need
a
to do
fake
that.
apology.
You don't need to do that. No one asked for your opinion. No, you don't need to do that. It's not everything people need to get involved in. And also, sometimes you just have to read the room. You just have to read the room, and that's okay. Yeah, that was very unfunny, actually. He should be done out here for that. That was very unfunny. I want to see Drewski doing a video of that. I feel like, and that's how you know sometimes, like, real comedians, because as much as that people say about comedy, should comedy have a line, real comedians know when to not now or not here. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm sure at some point, the Dave Chappelle's, whoever's going to be making jokes about Diddy, but it's not going to be a thing at a cost of the victims, that makes sense? It's going to be at Diddy, just cussing him out. And then literally 1 hour after the guy posted the video that doesn't even bang anyway, you then went and decided to add to it your little white vest. Bye. Hell no.
Well, that being said, let's get into the outro.
Please. All right, people. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it as every single time we do. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. If you're here every single day and you haven't subscribed to the channel, I actually don't know. I don't know. I honestly, of all the things I don't know, that I do not know. So please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, you can, follow us on social media as well, The Day After TNB, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Discord. And also, please don't forget to share videos. Like, they're working hard to create them little clips. So please share them, put them on your stories and all that kind of stuff. I know some of you are trying to be mysterious. Post funny. Everyone know you're funny. What else is there? If you want to send dilemmas in, the number is 07564841073. That's also a number to call while we're on air. But just to note, call via WhatsApp. Otherwise, it just sounds like you're in a cave somewhere. Is the web?
I just wanted to add, just about the 140 leaderboard quickly.
Oh yeah.
Mr. MoneyJar is basically at the top of the leaderboard, man.
How? For 10 minutes.
To be fair, it's still a tie. It's Dr. Money is still number one.
Big up. It's okay. They keep trying to erase a black woman's
I'm just
excellence.
saying he's there with her.
No, you should have said that because you said it as if he was number one.
No,
That's how the hell?
3 number ones.
This one passed half the questions. There's 3 number ones.
Yeah.
Who's
Dr. Money, Travis J.
Big up Travis J.
And Mr. MoneyJar, man.
Okay, so someone needs to just beat them and then we know that. Okay. I thought the Money's going to be like, when she comes next time. Rematch. All right, that's good. That's good to know. And yes, the website is back up. So if you want to send dilemmas and also, send the dilemmas via the website. If you want to send topic suggestions, you're very welcome to use that via the website as well. But please give information. Let us add a link to if there's a video or something we need to reference. But just give more information. Don't just throw in a question there. Tell them about discuss. It will be discussed for 10 seconds. Quick. And that'll be that. But so the website is www.thenewblack.com/TDA. Did I get it right?
Yeah, and if it is that you don't see anything right now, just send me an email. You will be able to check back probably later on today, probably after this show.
Gosh,
He's done something stupid again. He done something stupid again. I'm looking at the page.
We're live on air.
I'm looking at the page and he's done something stupid again.
Do you know what? When this is all next week, we'll start fresh next week, right? But in the meantime, if you want to send dilemmas, if you want to inquire about the show, you want to feature on the show, all that great stuff, our email address is thedayafter@thenewblack.com. We're nearly at Friday, people. I'm so happy.
We have a guest tomorrow.
We do have a guest tomorrow. Hopefully for more, we do have a guest tomorrow.
Yes.
I'll be talking about Terrence Howard, so the interview on Joe Rogan. So if you want to get involved in the conversation, please check out the interview. Quick tip though, watch it at 1.75 because that shit is 3 hours long, child. You can pick things up.
Yeah, watch it at your own leisure.
Yeah. Okay. Is that it? All right. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Later.
Hey.